About wanting to transition off of fossil fuels. The president taking aim at a special guest that Joe Biden's going to have with him on the campaign trail, saying, quote, on Twitter, just learned that sleepy Joe Biden is campaigning in Pennsylvania with Lady Gaga, a proud member of Artists Against Fracking. This is more proof that he would ban fracking and skyrocket your energy prices.
The president will wrap up his rallies in Michigan. A federal judge in Texas just rejecting a Republican effort to toss out more than 120,000 drive-in votes in Houston, arguing the drive-in pandemic-driven alternative isn't legal. The Texas Supreme Court had rejected a nearly identical challenge over the weekend. In Austria, police are reporting several people injured and officers out in force after gunfire in the capital, Vienna. Still not clear exactly what happened. Some of this happened in a street where the city's main synagogue is located, but it's not clear whether the house of worship was targeted. America is listening to Fox News.
Off a day, this is Carl from APL Guam. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated team in Guam and on the U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
More and more, scammers are using emails to impersonate your bank in an attempt to steal your information and money. A big red flag that someone is phishing is an urgent call to action with a link to click. Once clicked, you'll be asked to enter some of your information. Some recent phishing emails request that you click a link to review a transaction you're unaware of. Bottom line, if you don't trust it, don't click it. And to be extra safe, delete the message immediately. This phishing protection tip is brought to you by Bank of Guam, member FDIC.
Investigators in South Dakota are releasing more information about how the state attorney general hit a pedestrian with his car.
South Dakota's Department of Public Safety did not give an explanation. They just said Attorney General Jason Ravensborg was distracted when he hit and killed Joseph Bover. 55-year-old Bover was walking on the shoulder of a highway holding some kind of lighting device at night on September 12th. But Ravensborg got distracted by what investigators didn't say. He apparently called 911 after the accident to say that he had hit something. A toxicology test was not given on scene. One given the following afternoon came back negative. It was also not made clear how fast Ravensborg had been driving. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Hurricane Eta, the record-tying 28th named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season, turned into a major hurricane today, a Cat 3. It's expected to hit early tomorrow in Nicaragua, but at this point, forecasters don't think it'll cross the Yucatan Peninsula into the Gulf of Mexico. One first-time voter gets some public praise from her celebrity mom.
Kelly Ripa celebrating her daughter Lola becoming a first-time voter with a post on Instagram. The TV host sharing a photo of the 19-year-old wearing a face mask and a jacket with an I voted early sticker on it, captioning, Lola's first election. Ripa also sharing a few other snaps of her family, telling folks a couple of chips off the old block, explaining she and her 23-year-old son Michael cast their ballots a couple of days ago, and calling on other Americans to get out and vote. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Wall Street starts the month of November with a strong finish. The Dow up 423 points at the closing bell. The S&P also gaining more than 1%. It had been a mixed day. For much of the session, the Nasdaq had turned lower, but the Nasdaq also finishing in the green. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
It's time to mix things up at Subway. Come in and get Subway's new barbecue chicken sandwich. Tender chicken strips topped with generous portions of sweet barbecue sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Add on crisp lettuce, onions, and tangy pickles on your favorite freshly baked bread. Perfect to satisfy just about anyone's flavor craving. It's Subway's new barbecue chicken sandwich, available for a limited time only, so try it today. At Subway, make it what you want.
Half a day, I'm Frank Bloss Jr. We've got a lot of rebuilding to do so that we can come out of our current situation much stronger and with better promise. I want to work on restoring trust, confidence, and the belief that we can do better. Let's rise from our shattered economy and build a stronger, more resilient community. We can do this together, but I need your help. In this election, I humbly ask for one of your votes. I'm Frank Bloss Jr., number 4 on the Republican side of the ballot, and I approve this message. Thank you. David Morcilla, Treasurer.
Oh, what's What's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
Well, today at 7:06, I'm Montesova Tyron with a look at your local news on the point. Polls open this hour on this election day. The polls will remain open until 8 tonight, and it should be an easy process getting in and out. There are some things that you need to know. Because of the pandemic, you'll have to wear your mask and social distance. You'll also be given a health screening upon entrance into the polling places. Those who aren't able to get through the health screening will be able to vote from their vehicles. You are asked to bring your own pen and an identification. Now, the rooms will be equipped with disinfectants and sanitizing formulas for frequently touched surfaces. The rooms will be sanitized before and after every voter, and public health will be there monitoring the measures throughout the day. Political parties and candidates are discouraged from gathering or setting up hospitality tents outside of the polling places. However, this morning we were seeing some of them already setting up those hospitality tents. Again, polls open this hour. They'll remain open until 8 tonight. Well, few numbers were reported of newly confirmed COVID-19 cases, but the number of people at the hospital is still up there. There were 3 new cases confirmed out of 101 people tested by public health. These samples collected on Sunday. There have been a total of 4,693 officially reported cases of COVID-19. 79 deaths reported related to COVID-19. Now, as of yesterday, 102 people were in the hospital. That includes all 3 of the hospitals, GMH, GRMC, and Naval Hospital. Of course, GMH having the most patients with COVID-19 at 86 reported yesterday. And with the rising number of hospitalizations, the Guam National Guard has been installing tents to help receive some of the overflow of the patients at GMH, and a new addition added to the Guam Regional Medical Center yesterday just outside of the emergency room. The Blue Med tents are for disaster responses and to have capabilities similar to an Expedient Field Hospital. We'll have more news after this.
Let your voice be heard, Guam. Your vote is your voice. The Guam Association of Realtors Political Action Committee is a bipartisan group actively supporting candidates who will pass laws that protect the real estate industry and the community as a whole. Visit their website at guamrealtors.com/vote to learn more about the key issues they are advancing and the candidates they are supporting to protect and promote home ownership and property rights on Guam.
A 24-year-old man was rushed to the Naval Hospital yesterday after he came in contact with a live power line in the Totu area. He was at a property when he was working on cutting down a lemai tree. It was then that he came in contact with a high-voltage power line and fell approximately 40 to 50 feet. The fire department says that CPR was conducted en route to the hospital. However, his condition this morning isn't known. It's still far below what they were anticipating, but the Department of Public Health is still pushing to get more people to sign on to their COVID tracker app. They tell the Guam PDN today that they have 20,500 people who've downloaded the COVID-19 alert app. It's about 28% of the population. The department had been aiming to get 60% of the island to download the app. This, they say, will help them better be able to trace COVID patients or those who've been exposed to the coronavirus. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
Hold on a second. Let me just grab. I want to grab your weather. That's right. Partly cloudy skies with isolated showers. I'm sorry, I was going over the paperwork here. There's a ton of stuff here that we still have to talk about, and big news stories here. 20 miles an hour. Daytime high is about 88 degrees. Heat index is +4, so it'll feel like 92. I got partly cloudy tonight with isolated showers, easterly winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, and lows about 78 degrees for tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies. Those isolated showers again, winds out of the east up to 20 miles an hour. Daytime highs should be about 88 degrees for tomorrow night. Partly cloudy skies, isolated showers, and that's the way it looks through trash day over at my house. Sunrise this morning was at 6:15. Sunset tonight is going to be at 5:53. Hashtag tell It sounds early, doesn't it? It is. It is absolutely crazy early because you're sitting there and, you know, it all of a sudden it got early faster this year, I think. And so you're sitting there and the sun's gone down and you're still like, I still got 4 beers. You know what? What am I supposed to do? Hey, kid, come here. You like beer? I just playing around. Who's your friend? Never mind. 7:11 in the morning, that's news and weather together on the point.
Action Pack asks you, are you better off today than you were 2 years ago? It's time to create positive change. Take action, Guam, and stand with the pack in this 2020 election. Join us as we support candidates who help businesses restore the more than 30,000 jobs already lost. Guam needs leaders who support all the people of Guam. Let your voice be heard and vote with the pack. You may be one vote, but together we have the power to make a difference. Visit actionpackguam.com to learn more.
Paid for by Action Pack Inc. Here's an important message to federal employees and annuitants from Take Care. Given the extraordinary challenges presented this year due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this year's open season is like no other in the way you'll access information and choose a plan. Open season runs from November 9 through December 14. Exciting changes are being made across all Take Care plan options to expand access to care. To learn more, visit www.takecareasia.com/openseason20 or call 647-3526. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
7:12 in the morning. Portions of the program been brought to you by the guys over at Nanbo Insurance. They got a couple of locations, Agunya and the ITC building, open from 8:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday. You don't have to make an appointment. They love walk-ins. For inquiries, visit nanbo.com. Or if you already know kind of what it is that you want, make a phone call and start talking to the experts there. 477-9754. Ray Gibson Show is also brought to you by Ron and Kim over at Security Title. Got complex real estate transactions. You know what it is that you want to get done. You just don't know how to do it. Let them help ranger you through that process at Security Title.
Morning talk that matters. It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
I'm looking for numbers here. 888-8255. Let's start with those numbers, and it is a beautiful day on the market. It is finally a beautiful day on the market. We've hit red for most of the last few days. I've looked at it, and I'm finally delighted. And I wonder if these numbers can be considered to be some kind of harbinger for what could be taking place tomorrow. And that's the red tidal wave all across the country. And
well, would that start here today? No.
Yes, we got the straw poll. There is the straw poll. Would you like to know who's in it?
It's up to you.
Well, it's got a minute.
It's your show.
This is true. President of the United States, and in fact, if you think about this now, ladies and gentlemen, of the radio listening on it, people have already started voting on this. Democrat, Republican. Then we got Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on the Democrat side. On the Republican side, Donald Trump and Mike Pence. Then there's the Progressive Party with Dario Hunter and Dawn Adams. The Prohibition Party with Philip Collins, not the singer, and Billy Joe Parker. The Green Party with
that's a great name when you think about it.
What's that?
Billy Joe Parker.
Billy Joe Parker. That's a radio guy. That's a radio name. The country music guy.
Country
name.
Music.
Yeah.
Country music.
Old school hillbilly stuff.
Oh yeah.
With the violins.
Great name.
Fiddle is the word I'm looking for.
Don't ever change that name. That's awesome.
We got the Green Party with Howie Hawkins and Angela Walker. The Libertarian Party with Joe Jorgensen and Jeremy Cohen. And the American Solidarity Party with Brian Carroll and Amir Patel. Is it just me, or there just a lot of strange kind of interplanetary political groups that are out there that, for the most part, you don't generally pay that much attention to?
It's kind of like Italy. They have a lot of different kind of parties, and you don't always know who's on the. You really do need a program to tell the players.
Exactly, and this Prohibition Party. I mean, are they what it sounds like? What are they trying to prohibit? What is it that they want to target? I mean, they tried that with alcohol once upon a time. The war on drugs, for all intents and purposes, lost that. So I don't know. What is it that they're trying to put the prohibition on? So I think that will be interesting to see how many people are doing all this other stuff. 888-8255. Let me get a look at some of the numbers, though. S&P 500, 3310. They picked up 40 points in trade. The NASDAQ, 10,957, up by 46 points. Dow Jones Industrial Average, 26,925. They picked up 423 points. You know why? Because all of those Trump trucks finally surrounded the bus. Did you see that on Facebook yesterday?
Yeah.
And so here's the ridiculous thing is the FBI is actually going to conduct an investigation into those Trump trucks having a good time with the driver of the Biden van. And I'm going, wait, you had Hunter Biden's for a year, his laptop for a year didn't do jack. All of a sudden, hey, we've got a couple of guys that are perpetrating road rage out there in the States. We got to do something about that. We got to get in there right now and do that Man in Black stuff and find out what the heck the big deal is. So I don't know, but maybe that was the cause for the numbers going up. The FTSE at 56.54, they're up by 77 points. Japanese Nikkei, the bell rang at 318. That's nice in the green, 23,295. Hang Seng 325 in the green. Shanghai up by about a half a point, and the DAX picks up 231 points. Any losses that we've had over the last couple of days looks like we've been able to catch up with that. Still need a little bit more to get to where we were at the beginning of the year, or the beginning of the day. But we'll see how the markets respond tomorrow. To the results of the Guam election. The markets, I'm sure there's people in Wall Street looking to see, will Tina maintain her iron grip on the speakership over at the legislature? Is it possible that there could be a swift red takeover here as well and get guys like, I don't know, who would be on the Republican Party of Guam if they were able to get in there? Who among them is speaker material in the legislature? I mean, as an example, the Balikbayans that are running, Joanne Brown, Frank Bloss. We got
Frank would be.
You think Frank could do it? But Mary Torres might get back in there, and if she was, well, I don't know because they didn't give her a whole lot of love, even among the members of the minority in this year's legislature, in the 35th Guam legislature.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I mean, you're mentioning names. People with, I think Frank would have the most experience of all, wouldn't he? If he was there, of the Republicans.
Probably, I think. Yeah, Jim Moylan's, Tony Ada might make a run for that. J.I. Cruz, no. Ken Leon Guerrero, probably not. Sandra Sayal, Telo Taitui, Donna Kalani, Vince Borja, and Chris Dueñas. So as I said, amongst the B-backs, who are the most likely to be able to, the incumbents that might get back in, and these the Balikbayan candidates?
2-3 there. But it depends on the coalitions and the stuff that happens behind closed doors and all that stuff.
Yeah, Smug Wimp says Therese Terlai for speaker. Not in a red wave, but it would be a great hands across the water move, because I think there are many cases where Therese probably identifies a little bit more as a conservative than some of the other nut jobs on the Democratic side.
I think that would make headlines if the Republicans would elect a Democrat to be speaker.
So as I said, 2 times Jerry Roberts this morning. We've got him on the Extra Point, obviously on the radio, but he's also got today's work zone in the Guam Daily Post, talking about another success strategy, better mental health.
Better brain health.
Brain health. Give me a primer on that.
Basically speaking, there are things that we can do to protect our brain and to optimize.
Generally, I think oxygen?
Yeah, oxygen's a good thing. It's always a good thing. But there's more to it than that. A lot of physical and mental things that we can do. It's a lot of things we've talked about. Over time here on the Extra Point. But
my brain has turned to mush in the last 8 months. I just want you to know that. I want you to know.
You ain't alone.
No. I picked up a book the other day from a friend, and I'd realized that I was about page 40 of, I don't know, let's call it a 150-page book, and I just kept rereading the same page over again. Like, this is not sinking in fast enough. Is there something that COVID-19, the pandemic anxieties, is there something that's happened to me, and do I share that with other people? And if it is, how do I get out of it?
Pandemic anxiety syndrome?
Yeah, could be.
I haven't heard about that, but we can invent the term right here.
Why not? Well, it also make for a great excuse.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I might be able to line up. I might be able to line up for federal money. on the other side of this?
I have pass.
Exactly.
Pandemic anxiety. Whatever comes out of your mouth, I've got it. And it has to do with the pandemic.
There needs to be a group that we can all get together and lobby Congress for and say, you did this to us.
12-step group for pass?
Why not?
There
Why
you
not?
go.
Could be fun. All right, 20 after, and so the other thing before we get into that is my confirmation bias has been very challenged lately.
Your confirmation bias has been challenged?
Yes. Because I'm only looking for stories that come out of the United States that have Donald Trump winning in a red tsunami.
How is that challenging your confirmation bias?
Well, I'm not getting a whole lot of those stories.
Oh,
I keep getting the ones where they've got the caveats. Well, he's doing better in this poll, but we've made the adjustments since the polls in 2016. So even though he's doing better, it still might be that much more challenging for him. I mean, even when stateside media is trying to love Donald Trump, they still will not deny him. Will deny him the full enchilada. Even around here, there's a story. Do I have it in today's in this pile, or was it in yesterday's pile? They interviewed Ron McNinch, and he saes this is going to be a great election for the incumbents.
I saw that the other day.
Did you see that? Now did that ping your confirmation bias?
No. I mean, and in terms, I don't think that's the case. And my feeling is that a lot of incumbents are going to be doing other things come January.
They'll be working directly for the governor instead of on the side gig that they've got over at the legislature.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, Ron is a really bright guy, and he's certainly wired in to the election process. He could very well be right. I mean, I think the election goes one of two ways. I think we don't understand the serious indignation that people would have, and they sweep a lot of people out of office.
We've seen it before.
And over things like pay raises, and things like that. Now, I mean, something as compared to what we've got now, a simple pay raise for the legislators is pretty small stuff compared to where we are today.
Exactly.
So if they'll sweep people out for that, we'll see what happens. But if the fear is so deep, and if that's been what's been swirling around, and people decide, well, God, I don't know, maybe we'll just leave things the way they are, and we come up with the same people in office, then that indicates other things.
Yeah, well, and how much of this? Because I think the other part that I'm looking for is, does this election, this senatorial election, does it turn into a mandate for the gubernatorial side?
I was thinking about this morning.
Right?
If you wind up, let's put it this way, if it's 10-5 Democrats when the smoke clears tomorrow morning, then Governor Leon Guerrero has a clear mandate to do anything she wants to do.
Next 2 years, yeah.
Next 2 years.
If what if we narrow it up? I mean, say it's a Republican.
It's 8-7.
Yeah, 8-7 Democrats.
If it's 8-7 either way, then with one vote deciding things, generally speaking, except on veto purposes.
Then is that the mandate?
No. No,
Still
she doesn't have a mandate at that point.
I mean, will the polls have spoken more clearly? And you say
on 8-7?
Yeah.
I don't know.
With 10-5 Republicans, then clearly.
If it's 10-5 either way, a statement has been made.
Yes.
9-6, I would say the same thing. But if you get to 8-7, no. Not really.
Mary Torres is watching the program. Mary, we're calling you for speaker. If the Republicans take over, it should be Mary Torres being the speaker. It's your turn, after all. 7:24, Jerry Roberts has got the extra point. Maybe a little bit later on. We'll talk about the Trump derangement syndrome that has gone just all the way through. I got this from the Hawaii Free Press. Secession possible if Trump is reelected.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy is right. The extra point is brought to you by...
We really need passports then to go to Hawaii,
Can you
right?
imagine?
Lunatics.
Guahan Insurance Services and First Hawaiian Bank bring you the extra point.
It's an exciting day in Guam. Polls open in about a half an hour, and in less than 24 hours, we'll know the will of Guam's people. Today, some words about elections from folks we know and some we don't. Words that may make us think a little bit. That's coming next on the Extra Point.
When's the last time you looked at your homeowner's insurance?
A homeowner's policy protects much more than just your house. It also protects you against claims from someone being hurt on your property. If a visitor is injured at your place, how much are you covered for? The smart thing to do is get the answer today.
That's the Insurance Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today by calling Guahan Insurance Services at 475-1162 or visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center in Tamuning.
It's been a noisy and contentious election campaign, both here in Guam and across the mainland. Misinformation, disinformation, outright lies, media bias, and flat-out dishonesty, with some people being highly snarky and arguing day and night with friends as well as strangers, lighting up social media. Everybody has strong opinions. Emotions run high, and there are going to be some very disappointed people as election results become clear. In some ways, 2020 has been the most unique election for residents of Guam and indeed all of America. Yet there are certainly similarities and familiarities. I found some statements made that display a variety of opinion about elections, politicians, and those who elect them. Here we go. Number one, the most important office and the one which all of us can and should fill is that of private citizen. Louis Brandeis, Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, said that. Number two, the ignorance of one voter in a democracy impairs the security of all. 35th President John F. Kennedy. You can make up your own punchlines on that one. Number three, I offer my opponents a bargain. If they will stop telling lies about us, I will stop telling the truth about them. Adlai Stevenson, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. Number four, the people who cast the votes decide nothing. The people who count the votes decide everything. Joseph Stalin, Russian leader from 1922 to 1953. Why does that quote from Stalin? I'm going to say it again. The people who cast the votes decide nothing. The people who count the votes decide everything. Why does that quote seem to fit in well with the 2020 election? Should it include the people who can best manipulate the mail-in ballots? Number five, George Washington is the only president who didn't blame the previous administration for his troubles. Unknown. Number six, there are always too many Democratic congressmen, always too many Republican congressmen, and never enough United States congressmen. Unknown. Wow, is that ever true? Number seven, be Americans. Let there be no sectionalism, no North, no South, no East, no West. You are all dependent on one another and should be one in union. In one word, be a nation, be Americans, and be true to yourselves. George Washington, first U.S. president. Here comes a sobering thought. America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. 16th President, Abraham Lincoln. Number nine, keep your eyes on the stars, but remember to keep your feet on the ground. Now tell me the truth. You're thinking that's Casey Kasem, right? Oh. No, Theodore Roosevelt. 10, sir, my concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. Abraham Lincoln. 11, bipartisan usually means that a larger than usual deception is being carried out. George Carlin. Just a little cynical, but probably accurate. Number 12, perhaps instead of voter ID laws, the USA might want to try voter IQ laws. That's unknown, but I'm going to steal it. Aren't you like me, worried about the intelligence of voters both in Guam and back in the mainland? We should be. And you know what? All those folks are worried about you and me. Number 13, Mark Twain has the final word on this. If voting made any difference, they wouldn't let us do it. I saw that yesterday. I said, that's got to be. That's the extra point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show, Guam Insurance Services, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
It is just chilling. It's chilling, and you just it reaches in and grabs you in a place where your darkest suspicions lie. Yeah. The ones in the middle of the night, you just go, this is like the Matrix, isn't it? We think we're in control. We think that there's a button that we can push and everything is going to go out the way we like it. And if not, we say things like, well, God moves in mysterious ways.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yes, ours is not to know the reason why, ours is to do and die. All of that stuff. So Trump derangement system, Mr. Wahi told Matt that the U.S. has the potential of, quote, going through the same process the Soviet Union did following the result of the U.S. election next week. Such is the level of tension surrounding the battle between Trump and Biden. He told listeners that the thought of independence has been flirted with in Hawaii, noting that there are people who seriously believe that maybe Hawaii would have a charter to a different path if Donald Trump is reelected. The guy, Matt, told the former governor that unity came in the UK. This is all part of an interview that was conducted. Bizarre podcast going on. Matt told the governor that unity in the UK has come under real strain during the pandemic and wondered if the same can be seen in the U.S. in the lead up to the election. He told him underlying all of this in Hawaii is the native Hawaiian aspirations, and there are people in the state who would love to have a different arrangement with the United States than we currently do. This is a sentiment that has risen during the lockdown. He went on, what they're talking about now is not to justify it, but to present a vision of what it would look like if it happened.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so among the Michael Bavacqua's got clearly got a opposite number over in Hawaii that is having this conversation, looking at it, going, if revolution did come, this would be a great opportunity for us to kick out the white people, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, well, then we got with that. 888, I saw yesterday, I was playing around on the newspaper, and I saw an ad for Live to Lead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you got something big coming up with that. I mean, we're only talking less than 2 weeks.
It's coming up on the 12th.
Yeah.
So we're down to, what is today? Today's 3, right? Today? Yeah, so coming up in 9 days. There's something I got from the Maxwell people last night that if you were considering coming in, if you're already in, that's great. Mm-hmm. If you're considering that for you and your organization to come in, this might be good for you. Maxwell has another side organization. It's a Maxwell mentoring organization. And what he does, it costs some money. It's not huge, but it costs something. But here's what he's going to do. He wants to give a little gift to the people who buy into Live to Lead.
Yeah.
So anybody who does, every person in your organization gets better than the coffee grinder. They get 3 months free of this organization. And this is like daily stuff that comes from Maxwell. This is like calls, live calls and things that he's on. You can ask questions and all that. So 3 months of that comes free in addition to all the other things that we're dealing with on Live to Lead, all the bonuses and things of that nature. This is an additional bonus on top of that. 3 months free with John Maxwell in more of a sort of a private environment.
Nice. Almost as good as a coffee grinder.
Could be almost
I'm just
as good as a coffee grinder.
Just we'll watch out for that. 888-825-5888-TALK. Are you going to vote now, or have you already voted?
Done deal.
You're done.
Done deal.
You have
Last
no
week.
buyer's remorse. You have no regrets.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to be right or not. We'll see.
Well,
but I did the deal.
Is that the way we're supposed to do it? I was thinking about that yesterday as I was getting out of the car. Somebody was asking me about who they ought to vote for, who they ought to pick, and I'm going, well, what? He said, well, I want to get the right answer. I said, the right for you is going to be different than right for me in this case. So I can't help sort you through that road because your goals are different than mine. He's a little bit younger than me, views the world a little bit different than me, but he wanted to, I guess he wanted a piece of fatherly advice on who it ought to be that he goes for. Well, and the answer on that one is, I ain't your dad.
I think if you want change, you know which way to vote. If you want same, you know which way to vote.
Yep.
And after you pick your color, blue or red, you just kind of decide who it's going to be underneath that.
7:33, we got headlines with Montesilva Tyron coming up next, being brought to you by the guys over at Top End Pest Control. 7:30 News, brought to you by Ken and Karen. For all pest control needs, their number is 4875657, and Auntie Loli Cammett of Remax Diamond Realty for all your real estate needs. Call her at 688-6743. Now with the news, here's Mana.
Well, the polls open up this hour. If you haven't already voted, they'll be open until 8 o'clock. The Guam Election Commission has health and pandemic readiness in place. If you do visit the polls, you can also vote at the curbside. Again, polls will be open from 7 until 8 tonight. There are fewer numbers reported from the Joint Information Center. Only 3 confirmed cases of COVID-19 out of 101 people who were tested by Public Health. The samples were collected on Sunday. The Joint Information Center says there are 102 people in the hospital, though, with 19 in the intensive care unit. To date, there have been a total of 4,693 officially reported cases of COVID-19 since testing started in March. And so far, they've only been able to collect a little over 20,000 people to download their COVID-19 tracker app. It's 28% of the population. Public Health had been shooting to get 60% of the population. They say that this will help them better be able to trace COVID patients. or those who have been exposed to the coronavirus. And a 24-year-old man was rushed to Naval Hospital after he came in contact with a live power line. His condition this morning isn't known, but he was clearing a property. In fact, he was trimming a lemon tree when he came in contact with that hot power line. He fell approximately 40 to 50 feet. He was transported to Naval Hospital. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
That happens about 200,000 times a year. That's easily, you think about people that injure themselves in household projects and things like that. It's usually got a ladder involved. So it's always a good idea and you'll go, I know how to climb a ladder. You know what? It's easy to lose your footing on a ladder.
Don't have any shame. Call GPA. They'll come and do it for you.
Yeah. And always 3 points on the ladder. 2 hands and a foot, 2 feet and a hand, something like that. You always keep 3 points on a ladder at all times. If it falls, you're going to fall with it. But I'd rather do that than fall straight down. 7:36 in the morning. That's news and headlines. Uncle Paps. And what's it going to be like for Thanksgiving? What will Thanksgiving be like? We've just started to have the conversation among the family chat that Mana and I and Dave and Shelley are on. We just started to have that conversation. I'm going to shotgun it over at my house because, as far as I know, the government doesn't know where I live yet. So that's, the power and the water guys do, but I don't think anybody else does. The DEH guys and the cops have not yet been to my place. So I'm thinking I'm going to shotgun it over at my side.
But we live together, so it's not like,
Well, there is that, isn't there?
We're from the same household. Does that not...
In California, gatherings cannot have people from more than 3 households. Well, my household is my household. You've got yours. Dave's got his, and Shelley's got hers. There's 4 households that would be represented. So if we were in California, would Newsom put a noose around us and make us not have? There's others to tell you about some of the other guidelines and recommendations in a minute. What's that?
You're not a household.
I'm not a household.
I got a room at your house. Doesn't that count?
Yeah, what do you mean I'm a single guy? I'm still from outside of her household.
I grew up in that house, so I consider.
No, I'm telling you, it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Why? Because I'm single?
For Thanksgiving purposes, you're good. I'm telling you, you're good.
I'm going to look that up.
I'm giving you clearance right now. Just do it.
I'll call Janella.
That's it.
And find out what it is.
You got clearance. You're good.
It. Really? I'm serious.
Oh, I know.
This is going to be a fun Thanksgiving already. You can tell.
I'll bail you out if they come and get you.
I just you never know just how heavy the topping is going to get here when it comes to Thanksgiving.
Because they're going to be driving around looking for 3 cars parked in the lot where there's not normally 3 cars parked in the lot and say, oh, they're congregating.
Well, not all at the same time, if you know what I mean. And don't forget, they are putting together all kinds of new different rules and regulations to determine spread and things like that. It might be a matter of law, not just a recommendation, but depending on what happens with another executive order and giving public health and DEH all of those new undescribable powers, we'll see what happens. 7:38 in the morning, and what have I got coming up? Let me take the break. I'll be right back.
Becoming a homeowner can be a scary process, but it doesn't have to be, especially if you have the right guidance. Break through your fears and go to a real estate professional that will ensure a higher chance of success. That person is Lolita Camet of RE/MAX Diamond Realty. Lolita also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, and military and corporate relocation. Don't be afraid. Call Lolita Camet from RE/MAX Diamond Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
Go eat at KFC for breakfast. Stumby. Don't look around. Bus Stumby, and we shorten it out to Stumby. Just go directly to KFC and enjoy the breakfast they've got lined up for you. You and I big eaters, right? We like a big breakfast. They've got the AM chicken fried steak. Now, this comes with the rice, white gravy on top of that. And it all goes on a chicken fried steak, and they got the thing all smushed down and everything, and the gravy just rolls all over it. You want to go on also liquidy but sweeter is try the AM waffle and sausage. You get the maple syrup all over the waffles there, and we get dripping into the sausage. Have that with a cup of coffee, and if you spend right, you get a small kernels chicken fried rice with the minimum single receipt purchase of KFC products worth $6 or more. Breakfast time waiting for you at let me see, KFC. Portions of the program also brought to you by APL, American President Lines, global presence with a local home.
Half a day. I'm Will Castro, and I'm running for Congress. This general election, I humbly ask for your vote in order that I may continue to build bridges and find solutions so that generations now and generations to come may live here and raise a family of their own, one day on a better Guam. If given the opportunity to serve you in Congress, you can count on me to honor and represent you well. Guahu si William Castro, Malalagazut po Congreso, Zenhua Preba, Estina Mensahi. Bob Pelkey, Treasurer.
Right on. Thank you so much. 20 away from 8 o'clock in the morning. Ray Gibson Show. Is it time to take a look at some traffic? Let me see if I can get the thing up on the screen so that you can see what I'm going to be looking at and where we might be able to scare up some traffic. 1 and 3 looking busy coming out of the GRMC into the rest of the area. Generally, if there's a school nearby, it's probably going to be busy. Also looking at traffic coming up slow up the hill. Sorry, down the hill over by Pacific Place. Wonder what's going on over there. A little bit of traffic at both sides of ITC building intersection all the way up at the Kipuha Loop. The Archbishop Loop. You'll see a little bit of traffic on the Route 10 getting closer and closer to Marine Corps Drive. It is rather busy out here this morning. All of the intersections look like they're rather rugged. Up and down Route 8, I'm seeing traffic over by Guam High and Navy Hospital. Scooch all the way down to Navy and Sumai. Traffic in both directions getting in and coming out look a little bit heavy, and Shoreline is starting to busy up if you're taking the back way. 19 away from 8 o'clock in the morning. Election morning traffic here on The Point.
Today is election day. You have the power to make a decision about what kind of representation you want in Washington, D.C. There are more than just names on the ballot. Some say that youth or experience is on the ballot, that party labels are on the ballot. For some, these might be the most important elements. But there's more. There's honesty and integrity and trust on the ballot. Each candidate should be measured against these words. Integrity and trust are not optional. They are required. There is experience and understanding of how Congress works on the ballot. Who among the candidates has had real successful experience in Washington, D.C.? Put aside the party labels and put up front the interests of the people of Guam. We only have one voice in Washington. It must be trustworthy. I will always lift you up. I will not let you down. I humbly ask for your vote to return to Congress again. Si Diyos maasi, maraming salamat po. This is Robert Underwood, and I approve this act.
Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro in Hagåtña and Mezcla Dos Upper Tumon are now open for takeout and delivery services. For more information, call now at 479-2652 or 3 or Mezcla Dos at 646-6295. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro brings you island hospitality with the true taste of modern Chamorro cuisine at the comfort of your own home. They take your local favorite dishes and serve them with extra flair you will only find at Mezcla. Mezcla, a true taste of Guam.
In 18 minutes, it's going to be 8 o'clock in the morning already. What is it, 43 minutes into election 2020. And this will be interesting, guys. It'll be interesting. And, we've gone over a lot, hashtag no incumbents, hashtag dumbest bunch ever. But you realize there's other races today, right? You know that there's other things that we're going to be voting on. We know a congressional race. We just played. Did we put enough room between the Will Castro ad and the Uncle Robert ad?
I think so.
Okay, this usually just a time check is enough.
Separation.
All right, but get people thinking about the candidates in all those directions. We are going to be voting for another public auditor. But there's only one guy running, and that's B.J. Cruz. So, I mean, if you want, you can write him in, but write somebody else in. But I think it's kind of too late to mount that campaign. My buddy Van says he wrote me in this morning.
Oh, sweet.
And so I think that's one, what is that, 1, 2, 3 that I know for sure?
how to do math.
What? To do what?
He wrote you in for OPA?
No, he wrote me in for a senator.
Okay. I was going to say, man, if you're going to be the auditor, you need to know how to do math.
I know how to math.
Yeah.
I know. I just can't do it when I'm under pressure. Like, I can do it at my desk. I can do it on a scratch pad piece of paper. But if somebody says, Ray Gibson, go up to the board, and 43 plus 17 equals what? I came up with the thing in my head.
Yeah.
There's that anxiety. It's the same. And anybody that knows me knows I'm like this is when I get to the drive-through. And so I'm the driver. There's somebody over here, a passenger, maybe a passenger in the back, and they're going to tell me what it is that I'm going to order. I fail every single time. So what I do is I make my order. I sit back and let everybody lean over to me, lean over on the microphone. That's the way it gets done here. 7:44 in the morning. I got Laura Lynn Duck and I on the line from the Action Pack. Good morning, Laura Lynn Duck and I.
Good morning, Ray Gibson. Viva Guam. It's time to vote, right?
Yeah, well, I got to hope so. As it finally here. Now, quick question. You were bank president over at First Hawaiian for years. Did you have to math every day?
Yeah, I have to what?
Did you have to do math? Was there math?
Oh, yeah. Actually, and math was a good subject for me, Ray.
Oh, right on. That's why her hair is curly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to give you one last plug here. 7:45 as people make their way into the office. There's a number of organizations on Guam that have decided that they are going to put their a check mark next to somebody's name and say, we believe these are the people that are going to take us through in what is going to be a terrific dark time in our lives, which is 2021. You think it's bad now? Wait till the federal money runs out next year. You think it's bad now? Wait until all of the Gov Guam money runs out and just try to find a job next year. We need to have some smart people running the government of Guam to make sure that that those businesses that have managed to survive this far might have a fighting chance into the new year. There's a few other things that we'd like to see that would help out the consumers here on Guam, but the Action Pack has put together a list, and I thought maybe I'd give you an opportunity to talk about that list, the people that are on it, and what we expect them to do.
Okay. Well, Action Pack, what we did is we vetted candidates who would support our 5 initiatives, and what we're trying to do is revive our island economy. And as I shared my post with you, Ray, the island economy, the health of our economy is very dependent on our island's recovery, from this disaster. And we need everybody on board, and this will take care of businesses and their employees, 30,000 plus employees who have lost their jobs, and taxation to the government, which also provides jobs to our government workers. So what we've asked our candidates, or we asked all the candidates, they would support our 5 initiatives. And the candidates who agreed, majority of these, we have Tony Ada, John Ananich, Michelle Armiento, Frank Bloss Jr., Vince Borja, Joseph Cruz, Chris Duenas, Kinleon Guerrero, James Moreland, Tello Taitagui, Therese Terlahi, and Mary Torres. Those are the 12 candidates who closely align with our initiative. We encourage our community to support as many of them as you possibly can, because we really need to get our islands back to work. I know that there's people talking about, we're only thinking about businesses and ourselves. We're thinking about the employees, because like you said, when when the government money runs out, the federal funds run out, we're going to be in some dire straits.
Yep.
And if we can't get our businesses contributing again to the economy and employment, then it's going to be a really, really tough time.
Well, and it'll last longer too. The healthier we can get, obviously we need to worry about the people of Guam and their general health one way or the other. But once we've got a pretty good handle on that, we're going to have to get on track to make sure that our business health, our economic health is strong. The weaker we are, the longer it will take us to come back. The weaker we are, the longer it'll take the airline business, the hospitality industry to want to come back. If these guys know that we're not opening up hotel rooms and restaurants and activities for our tourists, they're going to go, well, I guess we'll just keep going to Hawaii, or we'll find some other places that we can send our airplanes to and get max dollars out of our chairs. So we've got to be very, very up to speed on getting back up to speed with our economic health.
Yeah, and the weaker we are, our government jobs are also in jeopardy, and they need to recognize that too.
Ha! Okay, well, we'll tell them after the election. Have you voted already?
Yes, I have. I voted last week. I did the curbside voting at the GCIC building, and it was awesome.
I'm glad you had a good time. Now, are you getting buyer's remorse? Or are you a little bit going, golly, I wished I'd waited just a few more days?
No buyer's remorse.
Okay. All right. But Laureline, it's always a delight talking with you. We'll get caught up at the end of it when we get the final tally and see how the Action Pack guys did against the predictions from other people. And I think we might have a couple of predictions on the way. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thanks, Ray. You have a good one.
You know I will. 888-825-5888-TALK is the telephone number. It's the Ray Gibson Show. Election Tuesday, and you and I have done this in the past, and maybe it's a little bit of, an election tradition. You wake up in the morning, it's Election Day, and you get the Ray Gibson Show, and we get a bunch of people on the radio talking about what their expectations are, what their predictions are going to be, and all of that. But as many people are saying today, it's different. This is a different election day because of COVID-19 and social distancing. And I was able to attend 2 fundraisers before it all fell apart. One for J.I. Cruz and the other one for Vince Borja. mostly because I knew there were going to be chicks there. That's the otherwise. Here's my $10 and where's my drink? But I managed to make it to just 2 of those. But that was, as far as I know, that was it. There weren't a whole lot of other real, actual fundraisers that were going on. Where am I supposed to get my Tide and my handy wipes and all of that kind of thing? Simon Sanchez on the line, maybe with a few other things that are noticeably different. Good morning, Si. Welcome back.
Good morning, Ray. It was a beautiful morning down in Dumont. Took a nice 3.5 mile walk with Lou. And yeah, we live in a beautiful place. We're going through some challenging times, but I was thinking, election day, I've already voted. I did you a favor. I didn't write you in.
You did?
I did not.
Oh, you did not? You did me a favor. You didn't write me in. Oh, it's funny.
It's your big favor. You don't see my name on the senatorial list either, right? And, there's a role for everybody, and I think you're playing the right role, right? And actually, I'm not a fan of write-ins anyway. I said, if you're going to run, run. I have a lot of respect for you as I call you a real runner. You've done your marathons, you've done your long runs. For me to say, I did a marathon because I ran 26 1-mile runs over a 2-month period. Not quite the same, and that's how I can think about people that are write-ins. If you're going to run, jump in the pool, run, do like everybody else. If you're not, kind of talk is cheap, yeah. But one of the things you're good at is getting the community to talk about things. You're going to get people to vote. I'm curious about, you got about 13,000 already voted. If we hit the 60% mark, which would be good for us, 20,000 people should come out to vote. That would take us to about 33,000 votes. And then, like you, we'll be watching tonight. I don't have I'm not running, so I'm grateful I have 2 more years. I don't have anything to worry about.
Are you going to sleep early
tonight?
Are you going to sleep early? Or are you going to stay up and watch?
You've done enough of these things. It depends on how fast the results start to come in. But I know you and Mono will be up early, and you'll have all the numbers. And the part of me that's watched all these elections will try to stay up. But it is. I think you've put it well. It's a very challenging time to run for office and to be elected into office because of what's gone on with COVID. And I was just listening to the governor on the other station, and she's already talking about 2 years from now and people lining up to run for that. So, our most popular sport never seems to end. But today's a big day, and I hope people get out to vote. I like early voting. I hope that's something we continue. And I know the judge doesn't like it, but I like it because it's just made it easier for people. And look how many people have already voted. And the whole idea of cramming one of your greatest rights as a citizen into 12 hours one day every 2 or 4 years. Things happen in a particular day, and I like this idea that you can vote over time. Yeah, you might miss some late breaking news, but most of us have already made up our mind
for the most part.
You're always going to have imperfect knowledge. Late breaking news is going to happen next week, and you find out candidate A did this or that. It's too late anyway. But I like the idea that you have more time to exercise your right to vote. And so I'm glad they do this. I hope they continue early voting, and look how well it was responded to. So really tip of the hat to Maria Pangilinan and her crew.
Oh, she did outstanding.
And today's a big day.
Yeah, they did outstanding. I anticipate that they're going to do outstanding again today. It would be nice to have a big, huge early vote number, and then on top of that, get out a whole lot of other people that for whatever reason didn't, or like me, just waited until the last minute, and make it so that we get big numbers. And I think that's going to accrue to the benefit. But I don't know whose benefit it would accrue to at this point. Would that help out some of the incumbents? Would it help out some of the new guys? Is that going to help break the possibility of a runoff in the congressional race?
All the above. I think you've seen enough of these. It's very different. Lots of new faces. You've got the backlash against incumbents, but you also got, who the heck is this person, right?
Exactly.
And then you've got the 3-horse race in the congressional race, always having its wonderful drama in and of itself. But, the people of Guam will speak today, and that's the best part. And I hope we take advantage of this right that many people have sacrificed their lives so you and I have this right to vote. Don't lose that privilege. Go out there and vote. Express your opinion, whether it's for Congress or how many people are running for mayor. A lot of people want
the mayoral race, and something that I have paid zero attention to. There's also races going on for the Consolidated Commission on Utilities and the Ed Board, which is they're going to give you a whole other piece of paper, and you have to fill that one in as well with judge retentions and even the straw poll in the states. So there will be a little bit more to do than just voting out the incumbents.
Yeah. And I'm glad, I think the Citizen Board of the CCU has worked quite well. I think taking the politicians, taking the legislature out of it. Remember the days when we had a senator trying to set rates, wouldn't do anything. We ended up with load shedding. We ended up with a default, and we had to get a congressional bailout, and that's when Congress said, get out of rate setting. We want an independent PUC. Independent PUC is 32 years old now, and it really has removed the politics of it. And now the CCU, these are ratepayers, right? We only have one mission, to serve fellow ratepayers, to make sure that their two utilities are run well, but we don't have boil water notices. We have a brand new $80 million wastewater facility in Agate. The military is building a brand new $130 million wastewater facility up north. We're 25% of renewable energy in a year or two, 15 years ahead of schedule. Speaker Ben said, get to 25% by 2035. We're going to hit it in a year or two. And we're doing it the right way with citizens serving on a board. So please, there's 2 seats open. Chairman Duenas is running for re-election. Commissioner Guthertz is running for re-election. I know Peter Roy Martinez is running. I'm not sure of all the other candidates.
Nito Blas and Ken, Nito Blas and Ken Perez are the other 2 names that you're thinking of in this particular race. 7:56. Just real quick, what's going to happen in the states? You and I, by this time tomorrow, we might have some unofficial numbers to look at for representation here on Guam. What is supposed to going to happen in Washington D.C.? Will Trump retain the presidency? What do you think?
Boy, your guess is as good as mine. I remember 4 years ago, I was in the Philippines, and it was in the Wednesday afternoon, right? Reading, Hillary's ahead, then it's closer. And then all of a sudden, Trump wins. And the headline in one of the middle of the papers the next morning was, Trump wins, OMG. So anything can happen. Anything, and will probably happen tomorrow. It's been a hell of a race.
Oh, boy.
And, I mean, at least, with President Trump, you have an opinion on him one way or the other. So now you go get to express your opinion. I think it's going to be close, and, who knows, Ray? That's right. I'll be listening to you on Thursday morning.
Yeah, well, it'll be fun. It'll be fun for sure. And I don't know. I'm hoping I don't have to live with 4 years of disappointment because it's already happened. 7:57. And one last thing for you, because I know usually on election days, and we talk about tradition, Legion, legend, and used to be once upon a time when I'd be doing one of these nighttime shows on election day. Here comes Simon and Phil, and they reek of barbecue. So because you'd hit all of them up and down the island. Yeah. You got a circuit today?
No, I assume with social distancing, those days are over. That's what Lou and I were talking about, the days of big sign gatherings and barbecuing. I don't know how that's going to go, and it's a non-gubernatorial year. So who knows? You talk about the new normal. We're about to see what does an election look like under COVID. And it's obviously been more subdued. Like you said, you only went to 2 fundraisers, and it's just been a very different time. And so I don't know. I'm not planning to. I got to work today at my plant that is closed, but we're still trying to figure out how to get it. When I had a great breakfast, I think you had Mark Valdiga on yesterday morning, and had a great breakfast with him and Phil the other day. And it's going to be tight. 2021 is going to be very difficult. You're not going to see tourism coming back till sometime next year, and it'll be much later in the year. I think Mark's right, and the numbers will be small. And sooner or later, government revenues is going to have to take a hit, as Laura was pointing out. Remember, it's the private sector that pays the taxes that allows the government to then earn wages so that they can provide the services to us. That private sector is not generating taxes.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be more obvious. You'd think it would be more obvious.
You would think, but it's obviously...
I'm getting bags of question marks when I bring that up. Like, it'll be okay. We'll make our way out of this. And unfortunately, I think that we're going to have to deal with the same reaction that we had in 2017, and that is going to be a fly-up increase in the business privilege tax. But 6% of nothing is nothing. 7% of nothing is nothing.
Exactly. Terrible time to raise taxes. I'm with you. That doesn't. Your math is that good. 7% of nothing is still nothing.
Nice.
And that's just the wrong solution. And there's no quick solution, because you can't just say, okay, we're going to turn around 60 years of tourism and go be some other industry. That just doesn't happen that fast. And you got too much invested in the assets you already have. Your lower hanging fruit is to try to get tourism to recover in some way. But everyone around the world is struggling with that issue.
Yep.
And look what's going on in Europe. Now they're back to closing again, right? So it's a crazy time. But I said this 4 years ago, and I'll say it again, and even for Guam, right? With democracy, you get a chance to speak on who represents you every 2 and 4 years. Our country will survive Trump. And if he wins again, it'll survive him. Our country will survive Biden. And our country will survive whoever we put in the legislature, the CCU, and our mayors, because, that's what as long as we believe in our democracy and participate in it through talk shows, through voting today. That's how you keep democracy producing the results that the majority of people want. You'll have the disagreements. You'll have some very strong disagreements, but that's the balancing act. And we don't let anybody sit for 2 or 4 years.
Yeah.
After 2 or 4 years, you get a report card, and some of you don't get to sit again.
And
So,
we'll see.
I
We'll
like
see
that.
who gets called back by the teacher this time around. Just after 8 o'clock in the morning. Si, I'll talk to you pretty soon, and I'll miss seeing you tonight, reeking of barbecue.
It's okay. We'll look forward to tomorrow's show. I'm sure you'll have plenty to talk about.
I think
Take
so.
Care, Ray.
I think so.
All right,
Just
vote early and vote often.
I'm doing it as soon as I get out of here, just after 8 o'clock in the morning, and Fox News Live in progress.
In Michigan, Fox News Democracy 2020 coverage of election results tomorrow night. Watch on the Fox News channel. Listen on the Fox News app. A stay-at-home advisory reissued for Massachusetts after more than a week of new COVID cases topping 1,000 per day. Governor Charlie Baker says health officials will recommend residents stay home between 10 at night and 5 in the morning, with exceptions for things like going to work or the grocery store.
We've also updated the gatherings order to reduce the gathering limit of private homes to 10 people for indoor gatherings and 25 people for outdoor gatherings.
And there are renewed restrictions for restaurants and entertainment venues. Over 30 states posted new single-day records of COVID cases during October. The virus has now killed more than 231,000 people in the U.S. Authorities in Vienna say at least one person is dead, several injured in the Austrian capital in what security officials are describing as a terror attack. They're also not sure yet how many attackers there were as a search continues. America is listening to Fox News.
Today is Election Day. You have the power to make a decision about what kind of representation you want in Washington, D.C. There are more than just names on the ballot. Some say that youth or experience is on the ballot, that party labels are on the ballot. For some, these might be the most important elements. But there's more. There's honesty and integrity and trust on the ballot. Each candidate should be measured against these words. Integrity and trust are not optional. They are required. There is experience and understanding of how Congress works on the ballot. Who among the candidates has had real successful experience in Washington, D.C.? Put aside the party labels and put up front the interests of the people of Guam. We only have one voice in Washington. It must be trustworthy. I will always lift you up. I will not let you down. I humbly ask for your vote to return to Congress again. Si Diyos maasi, maraming salamat po. This is Robert Underwood, and I approve this act.
A Florida high school principal loses his job for a second time over remarks he made about the Holocaust.
The Palm Beach County School Board fired William Latson in October 2019 after he told a student's parent that as a school district employee, he can't say the Holocaust is a factual historical event. Latson appealed and got his job back after the board voted 4-3 last month to reinstate him as principal of Spanish River High School. That decision sparked outrage in the Jewish community, prompting the school board to change course. The Palm Beach Post reports the board voted unanimously Monday to fire Latson again. Officials say Latson will finish his time with the district working an office job before his termination becomes official November 10th.
Fox's Steve Rappaport. A fight over drive-in voting isn't over in Texas. State and county Republican officials say they will appeal two rulings that reject GOP efforts to toss out drive-in votes as illegal. One celebrity endorsement is not getting rave reviews.
Lady Gaga wore camouflage, cracked open a beer in front of a pickup truck in an apparent nod to working-class America to get out the vote for Joe Biden. But many found it condescending.
I'm voting for America, which means I'm voting for Joe Biden.
The singer then went on to say that she encourages people that live in Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, Florida, and Arizona to vote. She then took a sip of beer and crushed the can. One person wrote, "This is basically blackface." Another tweeted, "Stunts like this are exactly why Trump is going to win. Average, hardworking Americans are sick of celebrities mocking them for what they wear, drive, eat, and drink." Michelle Polino, Fox News.
The pop star holds a drive-in event with Biden tonight in Pittsburgh, while fellow singer John Legend rallies with running mate Kamala Harris in Philadelphia. Legend is one of multiple celebrities threatening to leave the country if President Trump wins a second term. Bruce Springsteen says he would move to Australia. And Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer staycation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance. Agana 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo at 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
It's time to mix things up at Subway. Come in and get Subway's new barbecue chicken sandwich. Tender chicken strips topped with generous portions of sweet barbecue sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Add on crisp lettuce, onions, and tangy pickles on your favorite freshly baked bread. Perfect to satisfy just about anyone's flavor craving. It's Subway's new barbecue chicken sandwich, available for limited time only, so try it today. At Subway, make it what you want.
Win a staycation getaway with 76 Circle K. Enter to win a 2-night stay in the luxurious Tsubaki Tower with breakfast at the Casa Oceano and an hour of pure bliss at the Spa Ayala for 2. And then choose your adventure. A 3-hour ocean escapade with Shut Up and Fish, the premier ocean tour service, or take a heart-pounding water adventure and go jet skiing with Joe's Jet Ski. Just purchase $30 or more in fuel at 76 Circle K for a chance to win. Visit 76 Circle K today and win the staycation of a lifetime. Conditions apply. See store for details.
Well, today it's 8:06. I'm Mona Silva Tyron with a look at your local news here on The Point. The condition of a 24-year-old man isn't known this morning, but he was rushed to the Naval Hospital after coming into contact with a live power line. The man was at a property on Ibanez Lane in Totu yesterday around 10:30 when he was trimming a lemai tree. It was then he came into contact with a high-voltage power line and fell about 40 to 50 feet. He was rushed to Naval Hospital with CPR en route. His condition today isn't known. Few numbers reported of newly confirmed COVID cases. Only 3 out of 101 people tested, according to the Joint Information Center. The samples, all from Public Health, they were collected on Sunday. It brings us to a total of 4,693 officially reported cases of COVID-19, with 79 deaths. The Joint Information Center reports that there are 1,948 people currently in isolation. As of yesterday's report, there were 102 people in the hospital with COVID-19 on Guam, including 86 at the Guam Memorial Hospital, 12 at GRMC, and 4 at the Naval Hospital. There were 19 people in intensive care units with 8 on ventilators. And with the rising number of hospitalizations and potentially more to come, Guam National Guard is helping out and installing tents at the hospitals to catch the overflow of patients with COVID. They installed these tents first at the Guam Memorial Hospital, and now additional tents have been installed outside of the Guam Regional Medical City Emergency Room. The Blue Med tents act as an expedient field hospital. Well, more news right after this.
Howdy, folks. I'm Colonel Sanders from KFC. Allow me to introduce my new KFC hot wing flavors. I'm getting very, very hungry. Buffalo and honey barbecue. Am I dreaming? Nope, not dreaming. That's a bunch of new KFC hot wings. Try them yourself in my KFC hot wing deal with fries and a drink, or share them with the family in an 18 or 30-piece swing bucket. KFC, it's buffalo and honey barbecue finger licking good.
The Department of Public Health trying to get more people to sign on to their COVID tracker app. So far, they report 20,500 people have downloaded that COVID-19 alert app. It's about 28% of the population. They've been aiming to get 60% to download the app. They say this will help them better be able to trace COVID patients. Polls open this hour. Actually, they've been open since 7 on this election day. That they'll remain open until 8 tonight. You will be able to get through to vote easily. However, you should expect that you need to wear your mask while you're there, and you will undergo a health check. The Election Commission says that individuals will be allowed to vote from their vehicles if they wish. You are asked to bring your own pen and an identification. Political parties and candidates are discouraged from gathering outside with hospitality tents. Also, the Election Commission has been ready with their plan to disinfect each of the rooms after and before every voter casts their vote. Again, the polls will be open all the way up until 8 tonight. And from the Guam legislature, Senator Therese Terlahi putting out a notice that she'll be holding a hearing this week, Thursday, this on Bill 479. It's an act to preserve the land restoration and justice mission of the Chamorro Land Trust Commission. That hearing will be at 5 p.m. on Thursday, November 5th. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
They got a bunch of them coming up, a bunch of hearings coming up on the 10th as well. Take a look at them and see if there's anything that's got any kind of fun on it. Partly cloudy today with isolated showers. Winds out of the east to about 20 miles an hour. Daytime highs today, 88 degrees. With a heat index, 92 degrees. And then tonight, partly cloudy with isolated showers. Easterly winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Overnight lows about 78 degrees. And sunset tonight is going to be at 5:53. Hashtag tell the others. Do you suppose people will go out and see it? You suppose people are going to be able to go out there and catch the sunset? Here's because there are people working. There are people working today. Go out and get your couple of hours. The way I would do it is work until what is that? 5? You get off the air or get off of work at 5. So split about 3. Mm-hmm. Split the office about 3. Go and get your swimsuit on and cold 6-pack or whatever. Drink first and then vote, or wait, how do you want to do that?
I think, today is election day, so I don't think you can buy alcohol until noon.
No, they changed that.
Did they?
Yeah, that's been for a long time.
No.
No.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, go look it up. I don't think...
I think you still can't buy alcohol until noon.
I want to say it was a Doug Moylan thing or somebody from a long time ago. Paps will know. And they said, no, you can't do that. There was a once upon a time where you couldn't run political ads past 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock.
Really?
Because once the polls were open, they said, no, you shouldn't be able to run the ads. And all the broadcasters and media people got together and said, that might be about the dumbest thing in the world. And somebody agreed with us, and now we can run political ads all day long. Yay! And then tomorrow
so today's not a day to watch Netflix or...
Tomorrow is going to be thank you ads. That's what we're going to get tomorrow. Yes. Everybody's going to be coming. I didn't win. And you suck for not voting for me, but thank you very much for all of your support and all of the other stuff. Maybe I'll see you again in another 2 years. 8:12 in the morning, that's news and weather together on The Point.
Half a day, I'm Frank Bloss Jr. We've got a lot of rebuilding to do so that we can come out of our current situation much stronger and with better promise. I want to work on restoring trust, confidence, and the belief that we can do better. Let's rise from our shattered economy and build a stronger, more resilient community. We can do this together, but I need your help. In this election, I humbly ask for one of your votes. I'm Frank Bloss Jr., number 4 on the Republican side of the ballot, and I approve this message. Thank you. David Morcilla, Treasurer.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training.
Hi, I'm Jerry Roberts, and every day on The Ray Gibson Show, I get to comment on the incredibly diverse, fun, challenging, sometimes frustrating, often exciting, but always interesting world of work. I hope you'll be there with us.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point at guamtraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts. Brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and First Hawaiian Bank on 93.3 The Point.
Did you say I'm doing Mescla and FHP? Can I do the Nissan one? Can I just look? I got the Nissan Cup.
Yeah,
got a Nissan Cup.
It's your show, man.
And I got. There's a story I was looking at this morning, and it's one of those things. Men will understand, but in these pandemic times. Serious now. In these pandemic times, people are shifting over their automobile buying. Right?
Automobile.
Yeah, shifting over automobile buying. And they're buying like trucks and stuff. They're buying trucks, and they got cool trucks over at Nissan. And people are going, Ray, why do you want a truck? Because I want something that I can mount my gun on.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, that's on like a massive like Dixie Peck tires or something like that on it. All right, well, later on, I'll tell you about the 2020 Titan, the only pickup that's got 400 horsepower, America's best truck warranty. This thing will go 5 years, 100,000 miles. Now is the and when you buy now, I'll tell you, I'll save it for when I'm supposed to do this, right? But when you buy it now, we're talking about incredible financing. How about your first 3 payments on the house? Yes. Ow, I like the idea. And you've got someplace to mount your gun. 8:14 in the morning, portions of the program brought to you by the guys over at Mezcla Dos, open for curbside service, 11 to 9 every day. Call them at 646-6295 or go online at mezclados.com for the whole menu. Call Grab and Grub are good to go, and they'll take care of all the rest of it. FHP is open during P-Core 1. Do they do Grab and Grub over there? I don't. Anyway, you're encouraged to keep your appointments. Stringent screening and sanitizing procedures have been implemented to keep you safe. Visit FHP Our Island, your clinic.
bringing you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
This Nissan coffee cup, it's made out of the same stuff they make the Titan out of. This will take a bullet. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I'm sure it would.
Just, you know, 8:15, Ray Gibson Show. Get out there and vote safely is what it says in the top of the Guam Daily Post. Election energy passion unstoppable despite the virus. And it's true. All right, so we've been talking about various predictions. They got all the different PACs and the organizations and the groups out there, and they got their 12 over here. And who was it? Paps was talking about the guys over at the real estate club with their 16. Somebody's going to be an unhappy member of that group. Good morning, Uncle Paps.
Good morning, Ray. Good morning. The senator's there?
The senator
good morning,
is here.
Uncle Paps.
Senator, Senator, I'm sorry, but your brother's right. They repealed that, and that's because of tourism.
Ah.
Vote.
All
Many
these
ago,
years
they
I've been
repealed
waiting
that.
till noon.
You're also right, Ray, about there was a time where you couldn't have a PDN ad on the day of the election, and John Anderson would say at 7:59, in those days the polls would open till 8. That's the last commercial of the day.
Right.
They repealed that. That goes back to when they first made Guam laws way back. It goes back to a thing of we don't want anybody saying anything bad about another candidate on the day of the election and they can't defend themselves. But that's all true. But Ray, I want to say this about my predictions. I appreciate if you give me just 90 seconds, then you can talk. Senator Klinsky's right. I did predict, and he said it over, and I do this every 2 years. All of the 12 incumbents will win except one, Peter Tulahi. I personally like Peter. He's done a good job, Master Answer. That's 11. 3 former incumbents will win, Tony Anna, Frank Blas Jr., and Chris Duegas. And when Mona Silver-Timon was a senator, there were 5 new senators who were never senators before. Her, Eileen Yamashita, Chris Duegas, Dennis Rodriguez, and Sam Babini. Correct, Mona?
Yes.
Yeah. This 2000 was the only election where everybody elected was either an incumbent or a former incumbent. Well, there's only one I'm predicting that's going to win. Is not an incumbent, not a former incumbent, and that's Ken Leon Guerrero. I'm predicting he's going to win. I'm not a hypocrite. I wanted Tampa Bay to win the World Series because they never won a World Series. But I told people the Dodgers are going to win because of experience, Mookie Betts, and I knew Kershiser is not going to pitch like he normally pitches. He doesn't pitch good in the playoffs. This time he did, and I was right.
Okay, but can you tell me why you're right? Why?
I got it for a second.
It's got to have been 90.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
I did predict my primo. Your uncle's going to win. There'll be no runoff, and I'm being fair there. Now, 4 years ago, my birthday cake said "Make America Great." It was the day of the Indiana primary. If Donald won it, he would have clinched it, and he did. So I'm a big Trump fan, but Ray, Biden's going to win. In order for us to win, that's the Trump people, we would have to win Arizona, Georgia, Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. We lose one of those, Trump loses.
Over.
There's no way he's going to win 07. Biden's going to win. So it made me feel bad, but that's my prediction.
Yeah. Let me think now on everything that we've talked about. For the most part, I hope you're wrong.
Well, I hope I'm wrong too.
I'm looking at a couple of things, and I'm really, really worried. If we get too many people from this bunch of legislative representatives that are allowed to come back in the next year, I think it's going to make it that much more difficult for us to move ahead. I don't think they've got the experience and the attitude and the work history to understand what it's going to take to put this island back on its economic feet.
Well, Ray, if you have the tapes, 2 years ago you said some incumbents were going to lose. You said that. And I go, my God, what's wrong with my nephew? There's 8 open seats. With 8 open seats, no incumbent's going to lose. And exactly, I was right. 07 got reelected. But you said that 2 years ago. Some incumbents but I'm saying only one's going to lose.
But I've also said my predictions have been more wrong than right ever in the history of my broadcast life. I'm not good at calling this stuff, but I'm good at saying what I'd like to see.
Well, we'll see tomorrow, and then the next day we'll see about the presidential elections. Maybe we'll know by tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, Trump's got to win 07. That's just too much.
Yep. Well,
That's all I got to say. But I am predicting Ken Yarbrough's going to win if I got to make a prediction.
Number 9, Republican ballot.
The only non-incumbent who's not incumbent or not a former incumbent. That's all I got to say, Ray.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time.
Did you say it was your birthday?
What?
Did you say it was your birthday? Did I catch that?
No, I didn't say it was my birthday.
Oh.
Why, did you hear that? No.
We kind of glossed over it. So your birthday is tomorrow?
No, my birthday is the same day Obama said to kill Osama bin Laden. The day he dies is my birthday, to give you a hint.
I appreciate the way you make connections. I'll talk to you pretty soon. Uncle Pap's on the line.
Uncle Paps.
20 after 8 o'clock in the morning, 888-825. Who did I just hang up on? Did I just hang up on somebody? Well, I know I hung up on Paps, but who else did I hang up on? Was it somebody important? Is it President of the United States of America calling in to get the Guam straw poll vote? To contest Pap's prediction that he's not going to make it. He's got those states he's got to carry, and everybody said that there were a bunch of states that he absolutely needed to carry in the 2016 election, and we know how that turned out. I don't know, guys. I tell you what, I am going to be biting my nails for a big chunk of tomorrow as we watch the Electoral College states as those come in and go, and all of the counts, and what direction they're going to have to be. I'm also going to be watching, because I think this is important as well, is there are a number of states that have got some senatorial seats that are highly contested right now, and it would be terrible for Trump to lose to win in the presidency, but lose all the backup, all the Republican support that he's got in the Senate, to the degree that they have been supportive of him. I would like to see, I'd like to see him everywhere. Obviously, you'd like to see the Republicans everywhere, and another opportunity for some more judges. Some more district court judges, some more Supreme Court justices, that kind of thing. 21 after 8 o'clock, if for no other reason, because it annoys my lefty friends. It annoys my lefty friends. I'm trying to think if it's possible that one of them might be listening. But, I was at the beach yesterday, watching the sunset, cold beer over here, got my phone, got my tunes are jamming, right? And I'm in between that and just having a good time. Here comes a couple of my lefty friends. And they were like, do we stop? Do we say hello? Keep going? Yeah, let's keep going. Because I don't want to ruin the sun. Because if we sit down together, politics will come up, and we'll ruin the sunset. And as it turns out, they had a beautiful sunset. I had a beautiful sunset. There was no fighting about politics, and we've got to get through today and then tomorrow, and then by the time it's all done on Wednesday, we'll figure out who the president of the United States is going to be. And then we're also going to end the COVID pandemic. I think that's one of the other things that I'd like to see. If for those of you that believe that this is one of those totally political things, it will be time for that to be proved. If this was all just a political stunt, just something to make Trump look useless in the White House, does that mean that it goes away on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week? We can go back to our regular lives and they'll go, oh yeah, as it turns out, it's just a regular flu. I'm sorry, no. All of with the little blue hospital things over at the back of Guam Memorial. No, that was sorry. We overreacted. Better safe than sorry. Out of an abundance of caution, we moved in that direction. But anyway, 823. My very close, very dear personal friend Bob Kelly is on the line. Mr. Kelly, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to make a quick comment about the advertising on Election Day. That was first done in the 92 election of Carl Gutierrez, when we had on-the-go spots running throughout the day about what was going on throughout and trying to get people out to vote.
Yep.
And Rex Sorensen and the crew said we couldn't have it because of the rules of Guam. And I said, if you don't allow us to advertise, I'll file an FCC complaint, because the federal election laws at the FCC did not have that prohibition, and they trump local rules.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you remember those on-the-go reports we did back then, and we kind of made them kind of newsy and, at the rallies. But that was that was the first time there was advertising that was done on election day.
How about that? Well, I do recall at the time and various times in my broadcast career being the guy on the radio at 7:59 when all of the spots were to finish up playing, and that was the object of the game was to make that break last forever. that last break of the day would go 6 or 7 minutes, and it'd be just all political stuff, and try to balance it out, and then they said no, just run them all day long. So there have been some changes. Now I do recall a time, and perhaps reminded me about when you could not buy booze on election day, and so the smart drinkers just stocked up the night before was what happened, and I think I was 18 maybe 20. No, I'm trying to remember how old I was, but I remember I'd gone to a party and then said, "Oh, I got to go vote," and they almost didn't let me vote because I came in reeking of barbecue. You remember when that changed? And now you practically walk into the polling place with a beer. In fact, I might do that. I might bring the cooler if the line is long.
Well, at least you're comfortable. But this election day just isn't like anything that I've ever. It just doesn't even have the feel of it anymore.
Got Jeff Pleadwell from Pirates Cove was on the line for a second. Maybe it looks like his line is moving. He's over at the Telefofo Elementary right now, waiting for. I'm going to assume that he's going to get curbside voting because he's old enough to have earned that. I think he's got enough rings around the tree to have earned an opportunity.
Let me let you get to him. Have a good election day, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow to see the results.
God, aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Have a good day.
You know, I will. 8:26 in the morning, 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number. A lot going on over in the Forward studio with my buddy, Real Joe Cruz, getting the phones. A lot of lines opening up right now, 888-8255-888-TALK. You want to hook up on the WhatsApp with the meme machine is working as well, 988-5874. My friend Hector sending in a whole bunch of memes. And earlier I was talking with Simon Sanchez and reminiscing about the times where I'd be doing kind of a pre-post-election show, and these guys would come in and tell me about their adventures as they'd go from one precinct to another and start at the bottom of the island, work your way up to Gigo, and then find the radio station and start talking about the experiences. Doesn't look like you're going to be able to do that today, huh, Phil?
No, I was hoping to get on before Bob left because he talked about that 92 election with Carl. 94, they were brilliant. And that's when KOM was doing that, or one of the stations was doing exit polling, but releasing the partial results, like around 5 or 6.
Yeah, I did that last year. There were people very unhappy with me, and I said, "This is Sparta."
Well, Carl was so bright in that campaign that he, as Bob was referring to the on-the-go reports, the gubernatorial campaign, he started thanking the people of Guam for electing him around 6 o'clock or something, and zoom. That was, if he wasn't ahead, really, he went ahead at that point. It's really smart on his part. And and then the exit polls, and if we're reminiscing about times like when Simon and I would go around the island.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd always hit lunch down south, but you get out there early, and there'd be reporters there asking how you voted. So we went to multiple precincts early in the morning and walked out like we had just voted. So we could say that, yeah, we voted for Ben Blas about 10 times. It's just pretty fun.
Isn't that fun, though? I mean, that's the legend lore of Guam politics. You just never know where it's going to take us. I don't know that it is shady or underhanded as much as it is just full-on, it's tactics. And sometimes you've got to recognize that you can wave a whole lot if you want to. You can get your bumper stickers out all over the place, and you can buy a whole bunch of ads. But at some point, every once in a while, you got to come up with some good tactical moves in order to make sure that your guy is off balance, or to take advantage of some kind of tactical maneuver on election day, which frankly is kind of tough once the media tends to get silent. So when it came down to, I got my hands on a copy of an exit poll the last time and read the numbers, and there were people that lost their mind. How dare you do that while the polls are still open? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm doing it.
Yeah,
that's why.
I think he sought it nationally for federal elections. So you don't have one part of Florida saying, "Oh, this is for who we are," but the other part of Florida is an hour behind, and they're still voting. So, we'll have to watch tomorrow, but I don't think, for instance, New York will come out, even though they're 3 hours ahead of California or Arizona, whatever, come out with their results until all the polls are closed, at least in the mainland, and probably not Hawaii.
Yeah,
That's way too late.
Yeah, well, and who knows when the polls are, quote, officially going to be closing, and how were they doing exit polling in a time where so much of the country has done the pre-voting like we have now. I think that's going to fundamentally change the pace at which we watch the election close nationally tomorrow.
I agree. And part of it is, maybe enthusiasm or whatever for early voting, but I think a lot of it we're not paying enough attention to. A lot of it is COVID. People just don't want to go out there, and they don't want to be around a bunch of other people because of COVID. A lot of people are still scared.
Yeah.
And I think that, but you know what? If he asked me 2 or 3 years ago, Trump get reelected, no, too many people don't like him. But you know what? I think he's got a very good chance to win again. I hope so.
Well, that's the two of us. I'm gonna bite my nails until we start seeing some of the big states come through for him. But and the same way I did, in 2016, I didn't stop breathing until, frankly, until CNN called it. Because when they've got to call it, that's how you know it's done. Especially for a Trumpy.
You just go to see if Rachel Maddow's crying or not. But
Politics
I've got
fun.
I've got a very good friend in the Democrat who's a Democrat and knows a lot of people. He had a fundraiser for Gore at his house. He had a fundraiser for Hillary 4 years ago at his house, and he actually produced an ad that's running in a couple of states.
Mm-hmm.
And he says Pennsylvania's the story. I was talking to him over the weekend. He says Biden's got to win Pennsylvania. Trump has to win Pennsylvania. So he thinks that's the story. And so my eyes are focused on there because I asked people all around. Of course, we can't tell. We're in Guam. We're like a million miles away from the epicenter. So I asked my friends in the States who are involved in politics. And, of course, if I ask my friends from the RNC, Trump's going to win. I don't have any friends in the DNC. They're going to say Trump's going to
right.
They're going to say Biden's going to win. But, we'll see what happens. The best thing is we're a democracy and we're a republic of democracy, and we have peaceful transitions. And so this stuff about Trump, you have to drag him out. That's just a daily attack by the Beltway people. And if you recall, like 6 weeks ago, they said he was going to drop out, and then a few weeks later said he won't leave. So I look at his crowds; they're tremendous. Are they super spreaders? Doesn't seem like it. Otherwise, we'd be hearing about that.
Anytime anybody in one of the states where he's had a big rally comes up and they see it at 2 or 3 numbers more than they had last week, they make this claim like that's why people are getting sick is because Trump came to town. And the problem is there is no other media. There is no other media. I bristle, and I'm annoyed at the idea that both of the newspapers that we read every morning still seem to be getting their national news stories from outfits that, in my mind, have been discredited for years because they've lost the idea of any kind of journalistic balance and fairness whatsoever.
My grandfather founded our first newspaper in Guam after the Navy era, Guam Daily News, which is now the whatever it is. And I continue. The only reason I continued my subscription is out of respect for my grandfather and the company he started. But when I open up every day, there's something about how Trump is such a bad person, and that you and I or anybody support them, we're racist, we're misogynist, we're just bad, stupid people. Well, I'll put my masters up against anybody else's in my brain too. But that's how they, and that's the deal. It was like was it Jon Stewart who said, on the coast with the flyover country, on the coast we have, I don't know who it was, some famous chef, and in the flyover country you have Chef Boyardee.
Uh-huh.
Just disdain for your neighbor.
You heard they were Did you see the Lady Gaga video piece? Lady Gaga, for most intents and purposes, anybody listening to this kind of radio station probably either doesn't know who she is or wouldn't make all of that big of a difference. But she got out there and did this thing and tried to look all folksy and everything, and it came off, I thought, as an insult to the average pit bull boony dog Joe in the United States. It was a farce, and I think that's going to cost them all kinds of votes here. So I don't know. We'll talk about that a little bit more. One last thing before I let you run. What am I waking up to tomorrow morning? Am I going to, at 4 o'clock in the morning, when the unofficial tally is all taken care of and we've counted up everybody, will I love the 36th Guam legislature, or is this going to be another one of those rubber stamp jobs?
I don't think it'll be a rubber stamp. The people I talk to, hardly any are voting for more than 1 or 2 or 3 incumbents. I think we're going to see a huge turnover. And then I look at, and I'm not trying to be, because some people think I lean Republican, but I think the Republicans have a chance for a 9-6, at least an 8-7. We have great candidates. We have some really strong candidates coming back in our former incumbents. J.I., Vince Borja. I'm missing people. And I think we have a really good chance. We have a couple of really good new ladies on our ballot. But the thing is, in politics, if you run a campaign, especially a one-on-one campaign, it's not so much to get people to love your candidate as opposed to despising the opposition. That's not easy to do when there's 15 seats up. But it's been self-inflicted upon the Democratic majority to have people dislike them. So whoever won the Republican campaigns didn't have to pay attention to that, because the Democratic majority they've alienated so many people. Like the people out of work, they want to give government employees double pay. This whole idea that we're going to get rid of the AAA and nobody's objecting to it. The idea that somebody's now going to be able to walk in your house without a warrant, which ain't going to happen at my house. Nope. But nobody's subjecting it to it on their side. They're just letting it go. And, there are some people who will stand up to Lou, like Therese Delahaye. I like Sabrina, how she stood up when Talina and Lou tried to raid the recycling fund, which they did, but she made it only a partial raid, Sabrina's part. And she just passed something about a hearing for real estate acts that I know Chris Murphy tried to get through, and he said he got blown off by Talina, but Sabrina took it up. So those are the only 2 things I'm going to say about Democrats, because otherwise I'm going to get in trouble by Republicans. No, but seriously.
Right.
I think it's going to be fun, and
well, it'd be good for talk radio.
Those guys has to be up all night.
It'll be good for talk radio over a couple of years. I'll talk to you pretty soon, Phil. You go have a good time. We'll get caught up tomorrow with a little bit of what happened gas. How's that?
That's cool with me.
All right, I'll catch you soon. 8:37 in the morning. Phil Flores, Bank Pacific Phil Flores, but also Republican buddy Phil Flores. It's 8:37. Montecillo Tyron's going to do some headlines. More phone calls all the way. 888-8255, 888-TALK. This might be your chance, your last chance as the day goes by, to be able to tell all of your fellow voters here on Guam which direction you think they need to go as they make their way to the polling places. That's all ahead on The Ray Gibson Show.
Chili's has a dinner deal you can't miss. Enjoy a tasty appetizer, 2 bottomless Coca-Cola beverages, and 2 mouth-watering entrees, all for just $35. Treat yourself to entree options like our fall-off-the-bone baby back ribs, personal fajita with chicken, or the ultimate bacon burger. Chili's, 2 for $35. Available daily from 3 p.m. to closing for patio dining or takeout. Chili's is located on the 2nd floor of the Tumon Sands Plaza. Call 648-7377 to place your takeout order today. With Chili's, you can still savor the moment at home.
Let your voice be heard, Guam. Your vote is your voice. The Guam Association of Realtors Political Action Committee is a bipartisan group actively supporting candidates who will pass laws that protect the real estate industry and the community as a whole. Visit their website at guamrealtors.com/vote to learn more about the key issues they are advancing and the candidates they are supporting to protect and promote home ownership and property rights on Guam.
What a morning. 8:38, and somebody says, what did Phil say about people might be able to knock on a door and come to my house? Yeah, you haven't seen that when they're getting rid of the AAA process and replace them with rules and regulations which shall be liberally construed by the Department of Public Health and Social Services and applied to ensure compliance with the Department of Public Health and Social Services guidelines and directives. Liberally construed. Ponder that, and then ponder how they define a facility. A facility means any public or private premises. So, obviously, if we're talking about Ganya Library, that is a public facility. Private premise might be a Ganya Shopping Center. It's the GPO, Mayunismo, or Real Joe's house, because it is private. And even if it's not originally construed as a private one, we are going to liberally construe that. And it says right there in the rules that that's how they're going to construct everything, as liberally as possible to support the Department of Public Health and Secret Service.
And if you don't open the door, what do they do?
I don't know.
Breach the door?
Whatever shall be liberally construed to help the Department of Public Harassment and Secret Service to apply and ensure compliance. So that's what they're talking about. And I know you're thinking, no, that's not going to happen this day and age in the United States of America. Oh, yeah?
And if you have dogs, and if your dogs are in your front yard, do they
Yeah, so we'll
shoot the dogs?
We'll get dogs. 20 away from 9 o'clock in the morning. Montecillo Tyrant. Taking it to the extreme here this morning. What's going on in news here?
Well, there were 3 positive COVID cases out of 101 samples that were collected. That's from the latest JIC report. There have been a total of 4,693 confirmed cases since they started testing in March, 79 deaths related to COVID-19. As of yesterday's report, there were 102 people in the hospital, 19 in intensive care. The condition of a 24-year-old man still not known, but he was rushed to Naval Hospital after he came in contact with a live power line. He was trimming a breadfruit tree in Totu when he came in contact with a high-voltage line. He fell approximately 40 to 50 feet. And don't forget to vote today. Polls open till 8 tonight. The Election Commission says that they're ready with pandemic precautions, and people may also vote curbside if they're not comfortable going inside. You will have to wear a mask, and you're asked to also bring your own pen. Polls close again at 8 tonight. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
Do you know what today is? According to Facebook, it was 1 year ago today that I was goofing off with 300 and some odd, 304 Nissan cars when we set the world record, for the most Nissans in a motor parade. It was November the 3rd of 2019, back in the free days. You remember free days, guys?
Yes, I do.
That was so cool. We just get in the car. There were hundreds of us at JFK, and 300 plus cars in the rally that went from there to the park in Agana. Paseo, yeah. We went over there, the Paseo, and we were all outside together drinking beer and just talking to each other. I'm almost positive there was singing. There might have been singing going on back then. So I wanted to congratulations again to the Nissan family. I was very happy.
So the event actually made it to the books.
Oh yeah, it's in the books. So I was in the second car in the lineup, but I was in the first Nissan car. The car in front of me was a Datsun.
Whoa.
That's how we made the distinction. It was one of the older cars was in front of me, but I was
was it like a
no, it was a 240Z.
Wow.
Or whatever the number it was when it was. Cause is going to have to back me up on it because it's a lot is happening. It's a lot of beers down the road there, a long time. 8:42 in the morning. So big deal for the Nissan family from back in those days. I wanted to talk about this because Thanksgiving is coming up, and you and I we're going to have to figure this out. This is my guess. Is that somebody in the Department of Public Harassment and Secret Service is looking at these rules going, we're going to do this for Guam. We're going to do this for Guam because we can do whatever we want to around here. Nobody seems to complain about it. Oh, they'll grumble a little bit, but that's okay. Nobody will complain about it. So here are some of the guidelines for the state of California and the upcoming Thanksgiving. We'll start with just Thanksgiving. Gatherings cannot have more than 3 households. That includes anybody who is present at the gatherings. Now, we've already tried to sort this out, and it's going to take somebody smarter than me on the bureaucracy. But is it possible that between my place, your place, Shelley's place, and Dave's place, that those constitute 4 households? Or if we have it at my place, because it's at my place, does that cancel one of them?
One household. We all share a common denominator.
Somewhere around there. Keep the households you spend time with stable. Don't mix into multiple gatherings. So if we're going to start with just these 3 households, we're going to end with those 3 households. It's not like one household can leave and another one can come in.
Our family is going to gather for Thanksgiving, invite Joe's family over, and then Joe invites his neighbor's family over. Those are 3 different households.
I don't need an invite anywhere.
You're not getting invited.
I'm fine.
No, I'm pretty sure that's right. The host, should collect names and contact information of attendees for contact tracing.
Well, if they're not on your WhatsApp chat, then
they're in your family. Yeah.
What are you inviting them over for?
All gatherings must be held outside.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
People can go inside to use the bathroom.
Mosquitoes invited.
Mosquitoes are going to be invited.
But men can use the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Gatherings must happen at places, quote, covered by umbrellas, canopies, awnings, roofs, and other shade structures, provided at least 3 sides of the space are open to the outdoors.
Yeah, I like that kind of.
So it's it's your basic east-west rental tarp that we're talking about. What about the one with the walls on it? You can have walls. You just got to have 3 of them. Have got to be up.
Barbecue the turkey.
Gatherings of more than 3 households can happen at a park or outdoor space. Don't attend if you're feeling sick. Keep physical distance. Wear a mask. Gatherings should only be 2 hours or less. Never happen. Never happen.
We'll just start a fight and send everybody home.
I can say shotgun Thanksgiving Ray's house at noon. Which means that at least one member of our family, I'm not going to say her name, will show up at 2:30.
I start reminding people it's my bedtime at 6:30.
But she'll have one of the best entrees. Singing,
I'll
chanting.
send you guys leaving.
Singing, chanting, and shouting are strongly discouraged. Those who participate in these activities should wear masks. How much of that is sinking into the land of Mataping for you? Wait a second. No singing. I've got to write down the name of everybody I invite to my Thanksgiving party. Now individual. I can sort of see it at businesses where we'd want to have a little bit of contact tracing going on, as you're going into like Denny's or someplace. But now they want individual houses to participate in the inventorying of names for contact tracing. Ladies and gentlemen,
it just goes back to the WhatsApp
barrier.
chat or your invite list.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Thanksgiving. Do you invite total strangers? Do you invite people who aren't in your immediate circle anyway?
Generally, no. Generally, no. Every once in a while,
especially in a pandemic.
Who was it? Was it Shelley that used to just every once in a while there'd be some random person that showed up at our holidays. That was Shelley that did that, right?
CB Betty.
There we go. 8:46 in the morning. Off with their heads. That's it for Mana. She's going to go home and at some point you're going to vote, right? You're going to vote on the way home.
Yes, I'm going to vote. It's my husband's first time to vote in the village of Barrigada.
Ah.
Yeah.
Really?
So I have to welcome him to our polling place.
This
is a big
deal. This is a massive deal. How did he manage to avoid that for all these years?
Well, because we still have a property in Mauricio, and it was never a requirement until recently. And so you remember in the primary election when I voted early, he's like, how dare you? It's my first time to vote in Barrigada. You voted without me.
God, that's right. This is
so it's a thing. We're going to go vote together.
You got to get a participation trophy. There ought to be something. Let me know if there's food. 8:47. I might go there, even though I don't vote in Barrigada anymore. I might still go if there's food because I don't know what's going to be happening down at MTM where they've got that set up. And yeah, do me that favor. If you voted today already, do me a favor. Hit me up on the Facebook Live or whatever.
You're going to head this way, and I guarantee you, I already saw the tents
and
the
Kennedy.
cars parked at JFK, so you'll catch some on your way home.
And let me know what I can look forward to at a variety of those locations, in particular MTM. 8:48 in the morning. That's Mana. I'm Ray. I'll be right back.
Fellow first-time voters, Election Day is our time to be heard. Your voice matters, and here's why. We make up the largest generation on our island, so our voices should be the loudest. People are counting on us to shape the future, and now is the time to act and stand with the pack. Want to know who to vote for? Visit actionpackguam.com to learn more about the 12 candidates who stand behind causes that will help us build a future we want to live in. This November 3rd, get out and vote, because your vote matters.
Paid for by Action Pack, Inc.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
What am I doing? Wendy's. There's a script for that, right? All right, I'll see what I can dig out now, because there's all kinds of things that you can get over at Wendy's. Now, we're talking about that big sandwich from the other day, but they have changed that now, because the big deal over at Wendy's these days is the spaghetti, Italian-style spaghetti that you are going to love. Comes in a couple of different sizes, right? You got the one that's perfect. Bye, Mana. Bye, is the perfect one for like just driving around, eating at the beach, and then there are times you go, no, I need to fill, right? I need to do some serious carb loading, and you can get that done with their Italian style spaghetti. They got chili. Personally, like chili with rice. Would be even happier if they did Wendy's chili with rice and hot dog and Tabasco. Or whatever the hot sauce is that they use for the chili over there. Anyway, work it out yourself and find it at all Wendy's locations. Call in advance for curbside pickup. But Wendy's, now that's better.
Guam has been through a lot this year, and every family has been forced to sacrifice just to survive. Your government leaders should be doing the same, sacrificing, doing more with less, and being more responsible in serving our whole community. Let's build a better government together with transparent decision-making, frugal spending, and setting responsible priorities. Please vote for me, Michelle Armenta, #1 on your Republican ballot. I'm Michelle Armenta, and I approve this message.
Will I get in trouble? Will I get in trouble if I went on the air and said I'm definitely voting for Michelle Armenta?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just, because the rules, there's the rules.
Yeah.
I don't want to step on anybody's rules.
No.
For heaven's sakes. 888-8255-888-TALK is the what the hell happened to Ken? Did Ken just get tired of waiting?
Disappeared. Maybe he's having breakfast with Paps.
So, no, truth is, there's a bigger name on line 3, so I'll just go right into that. Eddie from the Booty Stores Online. Eddie, how you doing, buddy?
That's it.
Eddie, are you on?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
groovy.
I'm here.
All
hey,
right.
you know what these Democrats are forgetting is that, and the poll takers, they forget the walk-away people, those that have walked away from the Democrat Party. And then there's the shadow voters.
Yeah.
That's what's going to make Trump win.
Somebody sent me a link, and maybe you sent it to me, but somebody sent me a link to a story about independent voters, and there might be a whole subset of folks that are out there that you're right. People have absolutely forgotten. We did the polls. We asked we asked soccer moms, and we asked people in the city this, and we asked farmers that, but generally going to say, all right, this is the number of Republicans that we'll have. This is the number of Democrats that we'll have, and that's going to make up our sample. But there's so many other people that for whom you never hear, because they don't generally come out and say, yeah, I'm registered and I'm probably going to vote in the next election, or I'm going to be running or voting for Republicans or Democrats.
Yeah, well, the last I heard about the walkaways, it was over 400,000 of them that walked away from the Democrat Party. So I'll leave it at that, and you have yourself a good day.
I will have a terrific day. Did you vote already, or are you going to do that later?
Later.
Later? All right. Well, maybe I'll see you over at the
We're
place.
getting ready to open up our store.
Gotcha. Well, and good luck on that. I know that this has been a tough year for you, but I know you got a lot of support out there.
Bye.
You have a terrific day, Eddie. 852 and change, 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number around these parts. I haven't had a chance to take a look at who's playing. Jack Larimer is online, and Jack made a joke about a guy and COVID, but I'm not going to repeat the joke because if something bad happens to the guy, I don't want to feel bad about it. Love that. Carl T.C. Gutierrez, former governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez is online.
Sunshine.
Sherry Iriarte, before I go vote, remind me which sitting senators applied for unemployment assistance. That I know of, it was only Louise Muñoz, and she's pulled out of the race right after all of that kerfuffle started. So you don't have to worry about filling in an oval on that name there. Jack Lerman, I thought I had 9. Sarah Lake, Brand Webb, our mayor, Sherry Iriarte, Ismail, thank you. Have you had the bread from Mescla? Yes, Jack, we had. Yes, we got. There were 6 hot new pies that came in yesterday, and they were all good. And we had our own little election here, and the favorite one was the cinnamon.
Oh yeah,
the cinnamon hot new. That was the best. Outstanding job, Tony. You continue to amaze us with your incredible skills. Ryan Trent, are we still PCOR 1? Ryan Trent, we're in PCOR 1.5. That's the fun one, right? Is it
sexy and modified?
Sexy and modified. This is the regular PCOR 1 is like Kmart granny panties.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit more Victoria's Secret, if you will. I mean,
yeah.
if we're making a comparison on PCOR 1s, not PCOR 1, it's PCOR Fun. What's that? Patrick Iriarte going off on somebody. Those are always fun reads. Joe Cruz's Paps is the Rain Man of politics. Isn't that nice? He wasn't always. There used to be a couple of other guys. Governor Gutierrez will remind me who the fellow was. Dennis Benzer says, Joe, I'll invite you over for Thanksgiving. Just a note. If you go.
Wow, the guy can cook.
Chaps.
Yeah.
Okay. If the governor wants to know who is at your house for Thanksgiving, they should just ask Google. Randy says she's getting memos from Governor Newsom. Well, I don't know. I don't know what our guidelines or what's going to be allowed for Thanksgiving around here. Frankly, I know it was a weird kind of Halloween for a lot of people, but honestly, I did not participate in Halloween at all. I was at a function where the best costume was Amber in her Wonder Woman outfit. But really, anybody in a Wonder Woman outfit, that's going to be the winner every time.
Yeah,
it's got the little golden things, the wristbands, and there's a little lasso of truth there.
Yeah.
So any of that will. Real Joe could wear a Wonder Woman outfit, and I'd go, well, hello. Yeah. There's some about that outfit. You know, I'm not going to finish. But anyway, so that was my Halloween ween that I know of. I'm not hearing about anybody that did traditional Halloween stuff, and I'm not hearing about anybody that did more unusual COVID-19 era Halloween ween. Did you get out with the kids?
No, I watched that vampire movie from the 80s, I think.
That was it?
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Yeah, the girl's in it. The girl from that movie.
Twister.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her.
Yeah. Do you know that because I told that to you? Or
maybe, yeah. It's somewhere in my back there.
Thought that might be the case. 888-825-5888-TALK. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. The other Governor Leon Guerrero, and soon to be, if Paps's prediction come true, if his arch enemy, Paps Martinez's predictions come through, soon to be Senator Ken Leon Guerrero.
Well, that's quite a lead-in. I don't know what to say.
Well, I mean, you could say thank you. I mean, he's the guy that's doing the predictions. But where were you on the, what do you call it here? Ken Leon Guerrero is one of four that have got 4 out of 5 of these PAC supports. You've got support in the car one up in the racetrack. You've got of course, you've got yourhopevote.com because that's your website. Guam Association of Realtors and the Action PAC are all supporting you, so it is possible that you might get the nod. The other 3 that are banging on all 4: Michelle Armenta, Frank Bloss Jr., and Vince Borja.
And they're also. We've got avatars of them in their superheroes of them as well.
Yeah, I've seen that. So you sent me a picture earlier, but I kind of hesitant to use it because, it's still election day.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you got a spot there. Is that over at JFK?
Yeah. And the reason why I was calling in is because, this is the last chance that we have as citizens to let the politicians know exactly what we think of the way they've been running our island for the past 2 years. And the traffic right here is steady. But what's interesting is every car that comes in, I'm seeing it 15 to 20 minutes later leaving. So that's letting me know that the process with all the safeguards is only taking 15 to 20 minutes right now. And we expect that as the traffic starts increasing, we're going to see those times getting a little bit longer. But right now, people are going in and they're coming out within 20 minutes or less. And that's a real improvement because when I was up there at Gigo, at Simon Sanchez,
we would watch cars drive in and come out an hour later. So for people to be going in and out in 15 minutes or less, it shows that the system is working. They are handling large numbers, and this is our time, people. Because now,
can I ask this question, Ken?
Sure.
Is there any food?
As far as I can see, no. None of the tents that I'm looking at right now have food up. They're following the safety protocols.
Wait. There's no safety protocol. I've been up on this. I didn't see anything in any recent public health documentation that said that there shall not be any food handed out for free underneath the outdoors that are protected with the COVID-19 blasters.
Well, we don't know that because, the public health, they have the power now. They've been given ultimate power to create and do whatever they want to create.
No, that's not true, Ken. Not true yet. They've still got one more hearing they're going to do on the Zoom, and then they're going to hijack our rights. And it'll be on the other side of the election. It'll be too late for anybody to do anything about, because there's going to be a lame duck legislature, and they're not even going to bother with the resolution.
Well, that's how it depends on how you look at it. The executive order has been written and it has been signed. Therefore, it is now in full effect. The fact that public health is extending a courtesy shows the conscientiousness of Art St. Augustine, who I've known, and he's a real standard guy. But the fact that the administration has transferred the power already, given the authority already, regardless of what we say in these public hearings. So we just need to be careful, and the way we be careful is we vote, and when we vote, we let our feelings be known loudly and clearly in a way that no politician can mistake it.
Well, okay, so if the voters come out and say, okay, so no, hashtag no incumbents, because not one of them has got the real backbone to stand up to Governor Lewin and Adelup and some of the thugs that are working with him up there. So they will get the message, and they will be kicked out of the legislature for not having the temerity to stand up, even for their own rights as the second branch of government. So what's the incentive for them to do anything after that?
None. What they're going to do after that, they're going to pass as many
I know it. I was almost there. Here's the workaround. Wait, Ray Gibson show workaround. You say pork, I say barrel.
Okay. They're going to do as much as they can to guarantee that they get nose kicker positions at six figures in what remains of the last days of the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration. And so there's been 400 bills introduced. There's been a lot of public hearings on things that are slices but have not been heard yet. And I'm guaranteed that in the last session of the legislature, they're going to be rolling it out in wheelbarrows so they can guarantee that when they lose their positions in the 35th, when the 35th sunsets, they have a safe landing space with six figures, a government-paid car with a government credit card for the next 2 years. And unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do about that at this point in time. But once the 36th legislature is seated, and if we seat more public servants than politicians in the 36th legislature, that's where we will have the power that the 35th surrendered.
That's and we'll have to talk about that some more. Hey, listen, I got to let you go. I just didn't even realize it. It was a couple of minutes after 9 o'clock in the morning. Real Joe forgot to tell me it was news time, so I'm going to let you run. Good luck today, and we'll get caught up tomorrow and see what happens. See if I've got a reason for you to be unofficially happy in the morning.
We're looking forward to it.
All right, buddy. We join Fox News Live, now in progress.
And now Twitter tightens rules on declaring victory, saying it's to protect the integrity of meaningful political debate. It may also delete tweets it says are aimed at interfering in elections or encouraging violence. Certain accounts will be slapped with a warning label for claims of victory before it's official or independently projected by at least 2 national news organizations. For now, retweets will also change, with people prompted to add their own comment before sharing. Lillian Wu Wu, Fox News.
Actor Johnny Depp has lost his libel case against the British newspaper The Sun, which called him a wife-beater in its coverage of his highly publicized divorce. A judge said he believed that Depp abused his ex-wife and she frequently feared for her life. Another restaurant chain is a casualty of the pandemic.
FIC Restaurants, parent company of Friendly's, is agreeing to be sold to investment firm Amici Partners Group, which is also in the restaurant business. Friendly's says to facilitate the sale, it's also filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy reorganization. Friendly's says nearly all its 130 corporate-owned and franchise locations will remain open, and it has cash on hand to continue operations and pay its employees and vendors. Amici expects to retain substantially all employees at Friendly's corporate-owned locations. Ginny Cosola, Fox News.
Britain's Prince William contracted COVID-19 back in April, according to a palace source. The Sun newspaper says William kept his diagnosis a secret because he didn't want to alarm the country. His wife, Kate, and his children did not contract the illness. The palace did not officially comment on the report of William becoming ill, but did not deny the report. William's father, Prince Charles, had COVID at about the same time. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Today is Election Day. You have the power to make a decision about what kind of representation you want in Washington, D.C. There are more than just names on the ballot. Some say that youth or experience is on the ballot, that party labels are on the ballot. For some, these might be the most important elements. But there's more. There's honesty and integrity and trust on the ballot. Each candidate should be measured against these words. Integrity and trust are not optional. They are required. There is experience and understanding of how Congress works on the ballot. Who among the candidates has had real successful experience in Washington, D.C.? Put aside the party labels and put up front the interests of the people of Guam. We only have one voice in Washington. It must be trustworthy. I will always lift you up. I will not let you down. I humbly ask for your vote to return to Congress again. Si Diyos maasi, maraming salamat po. This is Robert Underwood, and I approve this act.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch! That's just what we did with our new state-of-the-art mobile banking app as we celebrate 66 years of serving our island communities. It's loaded with a ton of new user-friendly features, including remote deposit capture. It's another way of saying you don't have to come to the bank to go to the bank. And if you want to come to the bank, we're happy to see your smiling face as long as you're wearing a mask. And we don't have long lines. Bank Pacific grows but branches, we place roots, and we're rooting for you. Member FDIC.
Guam has been through a lot this year, and every family has been forced to sacrifice just to survive. Your government leaders should be doing the same, sacrificing, doing more with less, and being more responsible in serving our whole community. Let's build a better government together with transparent decision-making, frugal spending, and setting responsible priorities. Please vote for me, Michelle Armenta, number 1 on your Republican ballot. I'm Michelle Armenta, and I approve this message.
Where was I? What did you want me to do? It was 7 after 9 portions of the program brought to you by APL American President Lines, global presence with a local home. Now is the time for a new Nissan. It just, I've got to tell you, and you might be going, really? You sure? Look at, you go today, Nissan, and pick out maybe a Frontier, maybe get yourself a new Frontier. How about the 2020 Titan? And first off, Nissan makes the first 3 payments for you. That's, can you, wait. November and December and January, you don't get near the payment book until February of next year. Isn't that awesome? And you're going, okay, well, what about my financing, Ray? Little is 1.99%. Brand new Nissan starting at just $84 a pay period. And like I said, we got a couple of great vehicles for you to look at. The 2020 Frontier. But I'm a truck guy. I'm a truck guy, and this is great because it's got this wonderful bed in the back, and what you do is you bolt down, 4 or 5 spots there for that 50 cal, and so you get somebody riding around in the front, and you're in the back just swaying along like a scene in Rat Patrol back in the day. It doesn't even have to shoot anything. It just to have it. I mean, just with me and Dave Torrey and Rico Blancaflor, we'll put something together that looks like it's hardcore. Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, check that out. Now is the time for a new Nissan. 8 after 9.
Rediscover Talk Radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
Pam Duvall says, so excited for Michelle Armenta. She will be Senator Michelle Armenta. Man, I'm going to love to watch the debates. I'm going to, and you've seen us, not scuffle or anything like that. But she's just a smart lady, and she's got a very clear vision, I think, in her head of what she wants to accomplish in there. As opposed to you get some other people. So why you want to run in the legislature? I want to do resolutions and marry people and get a state funeral. Can I do that?
She's not going to do that. She's got moxie.
Who else is playing around? Remind me later, because I wanted to do this, because, I've been saying hashtag no incumbents and stuff, and you're going, well, if we don't vote incumbents, Ray, who do we put in there? How big is that list going to be? We'll talk about that in a little bit. In the meantime, 888-825-5888-TALK is the telephone number around these parts. And let me see if I can get something up on the screen here so you can see what's happening. Ooh, wait. Somebody's agreeing with you. Okay, no incumbents then. Fine. All right. We'll see you at the polling place. And Jeff from Pirates Cove, he has been seen attempting to vote here this morning. We've got his image there.
Oh, nice bucket hat.
Have you been down there recently?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so normally it goes, I was down there with my daughter, Thursday last week, right? And we were, except for the fact that we were running late, we did not. Now, normally, if I'm looking at a kind of fashion, my daughter will look at it and say, oh, God, no, Dad. And I was looking at the bucket hats that they got down there, and I was waiting for her to go, oh, God, Dad, no, please. But she's sitting down, and this is how I know she loves me. She's like, Dad, let's get matching Jeff's bucket hats.
Oh,
she really
God,
did.
sweet.
Because the last time we were shopping together for like clothes and stuff, it was at Macy's Tommy Hilfiger, and so we're at the Tommy Hilfiger, and I'm looking at these shorts. It's really cool, like shorts. And she said, if you buy those, I'm leaving. And so I picked up a yellow one and an orange one, and she literally turned and walked out of the store. So matching bucket hats from Pirates Cove, not bad at all. I'm digging this. People sending in pictures of what it looks like. Very quiet at my voting place, says Montesilva Tyron, as she's making her way towards that area. Yeah, there doesn't look like there's a whole lot of activity and action and passion down there. And there's the parking lot getting into the actual school here, which is awesome for me because I wanted to go vote and almost immediately start drinking.
There you go.
Right?
After?
Everybody should have a plan. I might, but again, I've got the cooler. I've got those refreezable things that you can get. But what I really wanted to put up was a picture that my friend Trina sent me, and it is a picture that will announce the 671 virtual run that they're doing for PBS Guam. Good morning, Trina. How you doing?
Buenas, Ray. Good morning.
You called me Ray. She never calls me Ray.
Okay. Buenas, Rupert.
There it is. I'm Rupert. Now, one of these days, I'll wear the shirt that says the name Rupert on it, so you can understand where that comes from. But anyway, I known this little girl. College. I'm trying to think. Was
1997.
Was it then?
Yes, 1997.
We've known each other for 2 wives. It's amazing. Okay. 9/12. So you got another gig now. You're running promos and things like that over at PBS.
Yes, sir. I'm the development associate for PBS Guam.
All right, I like the name. There's a lot of responsibility. Development associate. We're not talking about developing, the shows or anything like that. Your job is to develop subscribers and people that will donate to PBS.
Absolutely, and PBS Guam has been around for over 50 years, and we're looking for another 50, and that can only happen with generous supporters like your listeners.
Well, and always happy to support, especially when you can make it fun. So it's not like we can just go out and do a 5K anymore. Now everything has got to be virtual, and we've got a virtual 5K, virtual runs coming up with PBS Guam. So it's not a 5K. The shortest one is 10 miles, all the way up to 50 miles, and you're going 50 miles? Wait, you don't have to run it all at once.
Yeah, that's the best thing about this.
Yes. Okay, so it just started, right? So it started on the 1st of November, and we have until the end of November to get all the mileage in?
Absolutely. And then the way that we suggest that they track their mileage is to download any app on either platform, iOS or Android, and just be sure that it's able to export your distance, because you need to email that to us before December 7th.
You know, I use Strava. Most of the people that I know, most of the serious competitors that I know are using Strava as well. And if you really want to have fun with it, you hook up somehow. I forget which one you go to, but there's Relive, which is great. Relive is awesome. You use Relive, Joe?
Yeah, it follows you. It has a little video.
It follows you. Yeah, it's got a little video, but did you know that when you take a picture on the course or on the route or whatever, it will stop there, show the picture, and then move on again?
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh,
yeah. Oh, there's people that are hacking into the Stravas and the Relives all over the place. I recommend that you give that a shot. That's what I use for my hiking. Oh, and in fact, I know a guy. Oh, yeah. I know a guy that wants to that is building kind of a Strava Relive thing with a GPS. For all of the very, very cool trails that we go on, because we go on trails you never heard of, and we see things out there that aren't in any of the books. And so, but this guy wants to make sure that at some point there'll be some kind of a digital repository. Anyway, so Strava, Relive, all of that stuff. Give it a shot and find how much does it cost to get into this.
At $30 per person, and for a family of 4 or a group of 4, it's going to be $100. So you save some money. And the best thing about this, Ray, is that it's virtual, so your friends and family off island can participate too and avail of the awesome swag that says Guam all over it.
All right, well let's talk about swag here. So I'm assuming that the swag for the 50 miler is better than the swag for the 10 miler.
Yes. Because it comes with a 3-inch brass medal. They get a shirt, the face mask, the certificate of participation for the 10 mile, and for the 20 and the 50, you get everything else and a 3-inch brass medal that shows your distance on the back.
You have tank top shirts? No, not this year.
You can MacGyver the shirt.
I can MacGyver the shirt. For registration and all kinds of information, easy website to remember is
pbsguam.org. That's pbsguam.org.
All right. And what is now that you're the development officer? I mean, this is a weird time, because normally we'd be doing a 5K or some other kind of race to get this thing going. But down the road, it's going to be before long. It's going to be Christmas time, and I'm sure the PBS has got all kinds of stuff coming up for that. And then into 2021, trying to balance the demands that you want to create and the balance the dollars that may or may not be available out in the community. You got any great ideas to make it through those calamities?
For our viewers, or for us as PBS?
For the viewers. What do I get to do?
For the viewers, you can just you know what, if you want to help support anytime outside, if you're not going to participate in the virtual challenge, just go to pbsguam.org, and there's a solo donate now button, so you can just go ahead and click that and just donate to us as well.
Any programming, interesting things that are going to be happening in the programming with PBS?
We have a new show. It's called Elena Wonders, and it's a great program for our kids. My daughter watches it, as well as the classics, which is Sesame Street.
I was going to say, how old is your daughter now?
Yeah.
How old is the kid?
She is 4.
Good Lord.
Going on 14.
Miami 16 in a couple of weeks.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, honest to God.
No, I saw her. She was in an infant carrier. No way.
Right. That's right, 9/17. All right, well, that's enough of the reunion. Did you vote already today?
I am getting ready to head on out. My voting district is at JFK.
All right, you have a good time. Be on the lookout for Kenley and Guerrero. There's no food. I've already checked. There's no food. I'll talk to you soon. 9:17. That's Trina.
Thanks,
you can hang out with her over at pbsorg.com on the world. No, pbsguam.org on the World Wide Web, and get yourself signed up for this. I ran in July. I ran the 100-mile challenge, and so when I look at this and go, 50 miles. Well, I might could do that.
Yeah,
I might could do that. All right. I started late on that one as well. Just I'm trying to figure out what the mileage is. How many days do I have to get 50 miles in? What kind of mileage do I have to do? And so you know what's going to happen, though? I know a girl. Her name is Lauren. And Lauren ran the 100-mile challenge. And I want to say she did it again after that.
Oh,
She
really?
just kept going back out. I mean, so she picked her route, she picked her mileage, she picked her routine, and then she just did it. So she got to 100 miles and then did even more after that. Some people, yeah, they can do hardcore like that. 9:18 in the morning, it's the Ray Gibson Show on Election Day 2020. And it seemed to take a long time to get here, didn't it?
Yeah.
And like, when did it start to feel like a long time? Was it March? Was it April? The initial shutdown, the almost heady Pecor 3. You remember when we could go inside a restaurant, and you've heard me say this a million times, but I like saying it because if I don't repeat it to myself, I won't believe that it actually happened. But we could go into a restaurant in 2020 and sit down at a table, sometimes with a tablecloth, in the very least some kind of placemat, and they'd come to you and they'd put a knife made of metal and a fork made of metal, and there'd be napkins, and sometimes they were cloth napkins. Wow. Crazy time. Crazy time. And you sit there and you're having a good time. You got a beer over there, a wine over there, pizza, whatever it is that you're ordering. Just there it is, man. Come on, man. When are we gonna bring that back? It feels like we'll never ever get there again, doesn't it?
The things I took for granted.
And you didn't know. Well, no, I remember when the numbers started to go up and realized that they didn't have a plan, or that the plan was to default to a lockdown again. I knew it. I said so. And all this time thinking, well, maybe the legislature will just leap into action. And they leapt into foxholes. Let's not do anything because we're scared. No. What are you afraid of? Oh, we're going to do something, and the numbers will skyrocket, and everybody will blame the legislature when that happens. You might do that might happen, or you might do something and find people that are better at this and put them in charge. There's and depending on who you talk to, just listen to Macris whenever he's on the radio. He's come up with some pretty good ideas. We time, trouble, and expense, and bothering a couple of old guys by pulling back. This like Reds. You ever watch Reds, that movie?
Yeah.
With the old assassins?
Yeah.
Jerry Paris, Carl Gutierrez. Yeah. Those are our Reds. We called them.
The one with Bruce Willis?
Yes. We called them out of retirement. Come. We need your help. And they're coming up with some great ideas, and nobody is listening to them. And I know why. I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. I've lived mistakes for a long time. You just go, wow. I tell you about a radio station I did once, years and years ago. And we thought this was going to be just killer format. Wonderful format. Got the format out there, got a crazy logo, got the guy with the deep voice talking about the big-time radio station. You're going to love this. And with top-notch, superior production, got a couple of great jocks out there, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. And boy, we you know what? Every quarter, this is going to be the quarter. This is going to be the turn the corner quarter, and it didn't happen. Okay, well maybe we'll do this, and then it just didn't work. And at some point, I remember sitting down with the boss and going, "We made a good investment in this, and it didn't work. And now is the time where we have to pull the plug and try something else." See if we can get more listeners, do something else. And now, do I want to equate the radio game with people's lives? Oh, hell yeah. Why not? But I keep waiting for them to do something different. What's our answer when we're scared of people coming to Guam with COVID-19? Better stay in a hotel. We're going to quarantine you. 14 days quarantine is bad. Okay, 6 days. How's that? Let's do 6. Unless we don't like the way that guy looks. Yeah, a little green around the gills there, buddy. You're going to get 7 days. And it didn't work before. I don't know why we suggested it's going to work now. Whatever it is that we're doing with the numbers and the testing, this is one that's going to confound us and befuddle us for days. We've been cranking it. What is it? In the 50s, 48s. We've seen some pretty high numbers of COVID-19. Somebody let out just 3. We had 3 confirmed cases. This is this morning's JIC, right? We have 3 confirmed cases out of 101 total samples that were tested on Sunday, November the 1st. Somebody's getting yelled at right now. Somebody from the fear porn department of the DPH and Secret Service is saying 3 people are going to get the idea that we've got this thing beat and we ought to start letting folks eat in restaurants again and sing and go to the disco and dance. Can't just have 3. So you should have let that one go. You should have just said 3. We're still waiting on the test results, and then we'll go back up to 0 down, find another 50 sick people, and then we'll add those together and be 63. There, that's enough to scare the hell out of everybody. Somebody's getting yelled at for releasing such a small number today. To date, there have been a total of 4,693 officially reported cases of COVID-19. 79 people have expired with COVID-19. We make that distinction because I don't know that anybody's actually died from it. 1,948 cases are in active isolation right now. And of the 4,693 cases, 2,666 are not in active isolation. They're okay now. It's all right. So they give us this big number, 4,693 people, like there's 4,693 people that are sick right now. Not the case. Not in active isolation. You know why? No symptoms. There are no symptoms. They've got something in them. It triggered a positive test. Maybe they had it before. Maybe they've got it now, but it's not the infectious stage. We're going to keep an eye on you for a few days. Try not to, I don't know, sing. Or anything like that until we're pretty sure that you're going to be okay. And eventually they are going to get released. Eventually they will get released. So we just worry about the ones that we've got right now. Now, they've changed a little bit of the numbers here, and I'm not crazy about how they did it. And somebody at Public Health is going, oh, Bray's not crazy about something that we're doing. Oh, no. Oh, no. COVID admissions that they've got listed now at the hospitals, 86 COVID patients. There are 14 in ICU, and on ventilator is 4. All right. In my mind, that's not the point of the dashboard. In my mind, the point of the dashboard is 86 patients in the hospital out of how many beds do we have? How many beds do we have available? Because 86 means nothing to me. I want to know, out of all of the hospital beds that are there at GMH, what percentage? And show it to me on a gas gauge. Are we at 75%? Are we at 90%? Are we full? Is it all the way over on the side? Same thing with the ICUs. So we got 14 people in ICU. That tells me nothing. What are we capable of for ICU beds at GMH? 4 on ventilator. Again, what's it tell me? Say it. Nothing. Nothing. Nada. It's useless information at this point. You have 4 people on the ventilator. Well, how many vents do we have? Do we have 5? Then I'd be worried if we only have the 5 ventilators and there's 4 people in there. Yeah, okay, I'm scared now. I will carry fear porn for you. But if it's 4 out of 20, 4 out of 50 vents that we've got available to us, and so I appreciate what you guys are trying to do, but it's just more static. Give me something that's got actual information that I can make a decision on. 9:27 in the morning, 888-255-888-TALK. I think we've wrung out the idea that it's election day and hashtag no incumbents. There are a couple of other races that you should be looking at. You should at least be thinking about them, considering, you ever complain about your power and water? Sometimes you go, hey, I'm not crazy about the way the lights are working, and it's a good blink, and it goes on and off, and I don't know why. Or hey, where's that? My water has a funny smell. My water has a funny taste. Why is my water so hard? I'm going to marinate on that for just a second. Can I? I've been living in a place now. It's going to be 2 years here. In fact, about now is 2 years I've been living. You know what I have bought more of in that house than I've ever bought anywhere else I've lived all of my life?
Water softener, salt?
Shower curtain.
Oh.
I don't have a water softener yet.
Oh.
I was thinking about getting one, but I got a quote from a guy, and it was like, wow, that's a big chunk of paycheck there. I don't know about that. But anyway, so it's shower curtains, because I don't know what it is. The shower curtains and the water there do not get along. They become magnet. And down around the bottom of the shower curtain is like rocks.
Yeah.
It's like rocks
Calcium
down there.
buildup and-
Calcium buildup is crazy. So now maybe that will change if we get a few new places and names, or support some of the guys in the CCU. They have staggered elections. So a couple in, couple out. So this year, it's fill in no more than 2 ovals, and there are 5 people running. So gut check time. Who do you like? There's Kenneth Paris, incumbent Joey Duenas, Peter Roy Martinez.
Primo.
Yeah. I got Dr. Judy Guthertz, incumbent, and Nonito Vicente Blas is in there as well. So of those 5 people, who are you going to call? What do they do at the CCU? This is a utility. Yeah. So which one of these people here might know a thing or two about, I don't know, physics, mechanics, utility business, water, hydrology, electricity, power generation, regulation of all of those kinds of things. That's what you need to be thinking about as you put your votes together for that. Guam Ed Board, a little bit clear cut, because you figure, okay, these are going to be people that, education, right? I know about education because I went to school. I wasn't any good at it, but I went to school, and that makes me, I was there for 12 years.
Yeah.
13 if you count summer school. That makes me an expert, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Lawrence Alcairo is in there. Maria Gutierrez, incumbent. Mark Mendiola, incumbent. I got Alex Duenas, Deborah Ellen. That's Dr. Deborah Ellen. Lou Beneventi, Sal Avila. Went to school with Sal's brother, Peter. Bob Chrysostomo. Peter Alexis Adda, who has been in the Ed Board before, used to be a chairman once upon a time.
Yeah.
And Dr. Mary Okada. And I'm, there's Mary Okada's name.
Is that Mary from GCC?
That's Mary from GCC.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Her. She needs to be in the Ed Board. But I was looking. There was something else I was looking at that I wanted to go over with you. And I said, we got the hashtag no incumbents. And you're going to go, well, what does that leave me, Ray? Well, oddly, it leaves you with a lot of new names and some returning names. Here's our returning Republican champs: Joanne Brown, Chris Duenas, Frank Blas, Tony Atta. They were in the legislature before, and now they aren't. And you're going, well, maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Didn't we try that with the 35th Guam legislature? Unsatisfying results, if you ask me. So if you are going to be voting just for new guys, I think that will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Democrats, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is the total when you bring in the new Republicans. And who are they? Michelle Armenta, Dominic Hernandez, J.I. Cruz. The name is familiar because he used to be the chief of police. And his brother's the bodybuilder.
Jason.
And his other brother used to do traffic reports for me.
Jerry.
Jerry, yeah. And then when he'd come in from doing the traffic reports, guy had a skillet, some butter, bread, and cheese.
He's the man.
I'm serious. The guy would come in after traffic reports and make grilled cheese sandwiches. And he knew when I was getting off the air, so he had 2 waiting for me by the time I got to my desk. Awesome. So J.I. gets the vote, obviously. For no other reason because
grilled cheese.
Your brothers are cool. What can I say? But let me get Ken Leon Guerrero, also known as Ken Leon Guerrero, at number 9, Sandra Regis Seal. And she's been on the air here a couple of times and has tried to make a name for herself. Sandra is going to be one of those people. Asking me if I've got any reason why I would like to endorse her because she's tough. I think she's tough, and I think she's the kind of person that we need in the legislature to provide them some tough leadership because they're people there. They'll just go along to get along. mostly Democrats. But Sandra Sayao is she's going to be the one that's going to be territorial. Of the ones that I want to say are most like my sister, Sandra, right? Donna Kalani, who I don't know well, and Vince Borja. And again, the only reason why I support Vince because he had fundraisers with lots of chicks. I don't know what it is. Wait, here's
reason.
Athlete. How's
Athlete,
that? He's an
yeah.
athlete.
Yeah.
And he also you want to talk about they'd given him a hard time because he was a teacher before.
Yeah.
And they made him step down from the teaching gig so he could run for office. And some people, it's a tough decision to make. And he made the decision, and he's gone all the way through. So, yeah, chicks, teacher, and a little bit of a backbone. On the Democratic side, the new names there, Frank Leon Guerrero, who I don't know if I know that well. Dave Duenas. Dave and I worked together for 100 years. He's done some great work with Bureau of Stats and Plans. Cousin Fred Berdalio is on the list. Also, former chief of police.
Yeah, another one.
How many would that make it? If we got Fred and J.I. and Frank, that's 3 former cops in there, right?
Yeah.
Michelle Armenta used to run security.
Military police?
Yeah, no, I'm going to say Secret Service.
Okay.
Just give her the total raise there. John Ananich, also cop, right?
Oh, yeah.
And football player.
Football player, military service, veteran.
Here I am. And then there's Bunker. There's Bunker. And
man of the land.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I hope he becomes one of those guys that doesn't have a hard time listening to people from the governor's office and admin and BBMR coming down and just go, hey, Stummy, can you just stop trying to fool me? Just give it to me straight. Give me the numbers. Show me a graph, and let me have my way with it. 9:35 in the morning. So those are the new names. I will tell you that I have a hybrid. I have a hybrid. I know I'm big on hashtags no incumbents, and so I've got 2 lists. I've got the list that is no incumbents, but I've also got the hybrid list. Now, I'll take both of them into the polling place with me, and the hybrid list has a couple of returning champs from back in the day. You'll remember him from Running Man 1, Running Man Season 1. So I've got a couple of those. Not as many as you think. And a few new guys, probably more than you think. And as far as returning incumbents, it's a small number.
There, now we know who you're voting for.
I didn't actually say the names, did I?
No.
So I've got the hybrid list, and it all depends on how generous I feel on the way over. It may depend on whether I have the Heineken before I vote or after I vote. Know what I mean? Because it depends,
Yeah.
Some people, the alcohol has a different effect on them. Some people, you just get mad.
Oh.
And just go with the no incumbent list, sinners. And some people, they might have a shot or something and just, that's the feel-good drink of the day. That's the one that I've been waiting for. I love everybody.
Forgive.
But not everybody is going to get my vote. A little bit to the new guys, a little bit to the returning champs, a little bit to the incumbents, and hope it works out. I will tell you, though, and it surprised me when I was done. I'd counted it twice, was the number of people that I will vote for this time. And in fact, sorry, it's the way the brain works, right? Today's Guam Daily Post, there is an editorial. And I have always voted short. The ones that I want to go in were the only ones I voted for. So it might be 4 or 5 people at any given election. Does that make it easier or harder for others to get in? Does that mean so if I vote for 3 or 4 guys, those are my bullet guys, but you come in and you mark down 15 names, does that mean that all 15 of your guys now have the same weight as just my 5 guys? And does it make it so that I get dummies that come in after my 5 guys because I didn't strategically vote anywhere else? No, this is a serious question and deserves an answer. So if you've thought about this as well, what have you come up with? 888-8255, 888-TALK. The COVID, they say in the editorial, says the COVID-19 pandemic has shown us some elected officials may not be the best in the government of Guam to help us get through this crisis. Whoever you are on the Post editorial team, I'd like your list. But if we don't vote, we're essentially saying they did okay and they can stay. Voters have until 8 p.m. to go out, mark that ballot, and let it be counted. And they say now, this is their advice, don't scrimp on your choices, too. 15 names of senatorial candidates are needed in the legislative race. Don't leave any slot unfulfilled. If you do, you're allowing voters who diligently made their choices complete to essentially make decisions on your behalf. So that's their logic and their guidance. So maybe it's all right if I go in with a list of 13 names and write myself and my baby sister in. 20 away from 10 o'clock in the morning. 888-8255, 888-TALK. What an adventurous day today is. Can you imagine how adventurous it's going to be tomorrow? Jeremiah Good asking me, do you have a recommended list of people to vote for? I've only lived here for a short period of time, but want to make sure the rhinos, that's Republicans in name only, are voted out. Well, let me think now. Two of them are out anyway. Louise and Will. Will's running for Congress. Louise is out. That leaves you Jim Moylan, Tello, and Mary Torres. Well, surely you have been here long enough to determine whether or not those guys are rhinos. Francine's on the line. Good morning, Francine. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess.
Yeah, hi. Hey, Ray, first of all, I really like your show. I enjoy listening to it every morning when I'm going wherever I'm going.
That never gets old. Thank you so much for saying that. I swear I live for that kind of thing, really.
Well, you're very welcome. You've earned it. I come from a political family. I'm actually originally from Hawaii. My dad was in politics my whole life. And we were taught that when you vote for less than you could or you can, it's in my days, it was called plunk voting.
Plunk voting.
And it's plunk, yes, P-L-U-N-K. So if I go in and there's 5 people I can vote for, and I only vote for one, I'm actually giving that one person 5 votes because the other 4 are not going to be votes against them. Does that make sense?
Kinda.
Well, I mean, think about it.
Yeah. So your one vote for one guy out of 5 means that the other candidates need to make up for that one vote they didn't get.
Absolutely. There you go. That's it. So you're actually giving that one candidate 5 votes.
Because I'm not sharing it with anybody else. Yeah. So if I vote for everybody else, I've just evened the score. Everybody's moved up by 1. But if I only vote for one guy, then he's moved up by 5 places. The other guys have to in the very least, the other guys have to make up for the one vote that they didn't get.
That's right. And it makes it real easy if you can think about it that way. It makes it real easy because you're not voting, you're not giving anybody else a vote.
But here's what's happening though. Like in the last election though, there were a lot of people that may have only given a vote to Therese Trelai. I don't want to say she was the number 1 vote getter in the last general, right? But that wasn't enough to prevent other people from coming in at 15, 13, 11. And because they were more politically organized, she didn't get to be the Speaker of the Legislature. I thought she should have. Number 1, by virtue of the fact that she got a mass number of votes. But it is as though they usurped that authority. So I wish there was a way that I could vote against people, and anybody that doesn't come up against anybody that doesn't make at least an average number of votes. Sorry, our legislature this year is only going to be 7 instead of 15 because everybody's no vote canceled out the votes that these other guys did get.
Well, I'm with you.
Because you think about it, you and I might get together and put together just the best 5 people that we'd love to see in position 1 through 5 when the official count is done. But it is the people that will come in 6 through 15 now that have messed it up and negated their power.
Right, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
So I don't know. So I mean, maybe the deal is in this case, if I do have 13 decent names, maybe I do give all those 13 decent names, or at least the ones that haven't ticked me off yet, give those 13 people my votes, and hopefully the last two that sneak in won't be the people I'm trying to vote out, if you know what I mean.
You don't want.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you're going to go vote now?
It's a toughie. I've already voted.
Okay.
I'm done. I just finished. I'm done, and I'll tell you, I marked 6. I made 6 marks on my ballot. That's
Okay.
it.
All right. Well, where'd you vote? Can you tell me what precinct you voted in?
Sure. Emu Lujan.
Emu Lujan.
Jonia.
Okay. And what was your experience down there? There's just people listening going, what's Francine say?
I walked right in. There were cars lined up, so obviously there were people that wanted to stay in their car and vote. And then I just parked, got out of my car. They took my temp, asked me for my name, sent me to a room, and I was in and out. I was totally in and out of the whole thing in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to hit up. Mong Mong Toto Mighty doesn't look like it's going to be all that busy. Did they give you a sticker?
No.
What?
No.
Oh,
Nobody gave me a sticker. Maybe I voted so fast and walked out. He couldn't catch me.
See, all right. Well, good. Well, let's get together, Francine. Let's get together tomorrow and compare notes and see how we did as the election results come in.
Sounds good. You have a great day. Thank you.
Yes, I will. 9:45. One last thing, Francine. Are you still there?
Yes.
Trump or Biden? What's going to happen tomorrow?
Trump.
I love that energy. I'm with you. I'm with you. I hope that happens. I hope that happens, and I hope that sends a signal that the country needs to move a lot closer to the center these days. 9:45. You have a terrific day. Coming up, my buddy Big Jack after these.
Let your voice be heard, Guam. Your vote is your voice. The Guam Association of Realtors Political Action Committee is a bipartisan group actively supporting candidates who will pass laws that protect the real estate industry and the community as a whole. Visit their website at guamrealtors.com/vote to learn more about the key issues they are advancing and the candidates they are supporting to protect and promote home ownership and property rights on Guam.
Half a day. I'm Will Castro and I'm running for Congress. This general election, I humbly ask for your vote in order that I may continue to build bridges and find solutions so that generations now and generations to come may live here and raise a family of their own, one day on a better Guam. If given the opportunity to serve you in Congress, you can count on me to honor and represent you well. Guahu si William Castro, malalagazut po Kongreso. Zanhua Preba, Estina Mensahi. Bob Pelkey, Treasurer.
When's the last time you looked at your homeowner's insurance?
We buy a homeowner's policy and never give it another thought until something happens. Life brings changes, and our coverage needs can change. The smart thing to do is get the answers and level up our insurance to make sure we're totally protected.
That's the Insurance Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today by calling Guahan Insurance Services at 475-1162 or visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center in Tamuning.
Half a day, I'm Frank Bloss Jr. We've got a lot of rebuilding to do so that we can come out of our current situation much stronger and with better promise. I want to work on restoring trust, confidence, and the belief that we can do better. Let's rise from our shattered economy and build a stronger, more resilient community. We can do this together, but I need your help. In this election, I humbly ask for one of your votes. I'm Frank Bloss Jr., number 4 on the Republican side of the ballot, and I approve this message. Thank you. David Morcilla, Treasurer.
I was waiting for something that didn't show up in that ad. Maraming salamat po. Oh, there's no salamat. Enjoy Chili's 2 for $35 dinner deal, a appetizer, 2 Coca-Cola fountain drinks, and any 2 entrees. How about baby back ribs? You like that? Yes. You like the ultimate bacon burger? Yeah, we love that. That's perfect. And then the guy says, but we also have your chicken fajitas. And then your brain explodes. My God, I have to make a choice. I can only mark 2 ovals on this, but I like 3 people. Using the election analogy, check this out. Available daily from 3 until closing. They do patio dining. They do takeout. Call 648-7377 or WhatsApp at 929-7376. Online crew right now. Donna Kalani is there. Sabine Chargaloff, Andy Camacho, Jen and Steve Worthington, and Jose Martinez and John Palau wondering, is it fair to cross over today? You may cross over today. You cannot cross over in the primary election because those are closed party deals. You cannot say, yeah, but I like all of these Republicans here, and I like Dave Duenas. Can I cross? In the primary, you may not do that. In the general election, you can do that, but you're limited to just 15. That's 15 senators. So keep that in mind. And if you overvote, then everything in the ballot is out. Joey Toves, definition of voter insanity is voting for the same people and expecting different results. Joey, I'll only disagree with you on just a little bit on that, because seriously. You take a look at, and we thought we voted in a pretty decent, the 35th Guam legislature. It felt different, didn't it? With the exception of a couple of B-backs, but it was different. It was different. Woman governor, Democrat woman governor. It was different than what it had been for the 8 years that Eddie Calvo was the governor. But you take a look at boards, commissions, agencies, departments, etc. How many of them are the same people that were in the Calvo administration? Now, there's two right off the top of my head. I'll tell you right now. Ed Byrne over at the Department of Administration, he's a holdover from the last administration. And then you got, Les Carlson over at BBMR, holdover from the last administration. Right? That's what these guys have got. As I said, you start taking a look at some of the boards and the commissions and agencies, and there are people that have been in the game for a while, and they've served Republicans and they've served Democrats, and every time it looks like they might be able to take something over, they do. They've got genealogy that is built in. So the point here is we can vote in. We can take, and I showed you how to do it. I gave you the names of the new guys. We can take the entire legislature and eliminate all of the incumbents. And we then put new people in there. But that's just 15 new people. The rest of the government is still there. And some of these people that have been lurking in government of Guam positions for decades. So you change out the rascals, but the government keeps getting back in, and that's a truth that we're going to have to live with. 9:51 and change until we can start firing some people without having to worry so much about civil service, right? My very good friend Jack's on the line. Jack's going to make things very serious now as he talks about the importance and vitality of voting in today's election. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, Raymond. Yes, it's very important, and I'm pushing for a write-in. For the write-in is R-I-N-O, Rhino. Mm-hmm. And not to take from anybody's vote. I mean, my target polity are those who vote straight Republican because you have one slot available. Put in Rhino in there. My other polity is those that can't fill out all 15 candidates. Just devote one Rhino in the write-in. Doesn't matter which party you put it in. And my theory is those who manage to fill in 15 candidates are probably, the people that you have just mentioned, those who are working for the government. They have a vested interest who sits in those legislative chairs. Mm-hmm. And more than likely, those who fill out all 15 candidates are either straight party people or they work for the government. And, that's a shameful fact.
Well, so, but like I said, you can get 12 of them right now if you just vote all new people in. You can do 12 right now and vote all these new people in that don't already have a reputation for ignoring the masses of the people of Guam.
Well, that was Ken Leon Guerrero's approach, if you remember. That's what he says, vote the rascals out. And then he was celebrating from the month of November in 2018 all the way up until February 2019. And all of a sudden, they became the most dumbest group.
If you're going to say it right. Hashtag dumbest bunch ever.
Yeah, Yeah, so
that is our invent. That's a Ray Gibson show invention, and I'm wondering if 36 Guam legislature might also become the hashtag dumbest bunch ever. No, it just became clear. It just became clear early in early in this year for sure that these guys, for the most part, they might only been one-hit wonders. Number one is in terms of valuable legislation, but the other part of it was none of them seemed to care that the government was being run out of head loop.
I've always used this policy that once I vote, that's it. I'm Republican with a small R. I vote you to watch my back. I hired you to do the job because I'm too busy in my private sphere making money, supporting my family. I vote you to watch my back.
Yes.
On taxes, on smaller government. I voted you in for that. So I'm not going to criticize you while you're still in term. So now the terms, you're coming up. I'm like a teacher. I'm grading you. You didn't do your job. That's 70% off. You're not getting in. So, it opens up the slot for other candidates. I got to tell you, I like the cut of her jib, that Michelle Armento. I really like the cut. I really like the cut of her jib. That slogan's taken from Dennis Miller. He always, if he likes someone who spoke or who's guest, he says, I like the cut of your jib. Jib is a Navy term for the sail, how it looks and how it performs. So I really like the color of her jib. And I got to remind everybody, and the last caller said vote Trump. Please, please vote for Trump. Let us be the forefront. Let us be the bellwether state from where everybody comes to. Guam votes first, and it's just a straw poll, and we manage. We're like 8-2. We just came into the game, remember, in the 1980s. So we're like 8-2 in the presidential election. So let's get back on the winning side here. Don't listen to mainstream media about this. Vote for what you're traditionally, you're raised for, your values and stuff. Mainstream media, I'm going to let you know, this is today now. If you listen to them, more than likely you're misinformed. If you don't listen to them, you're uninformed.
Yes.
So
Aggie Denzel.
That's the same thing when we have for COVID. That's the same problem that we have for COVID. Where they're not disseminating all the information. They just want to disseminate the information that gets their policy through.
Exactly,
so
exactly. And I will try to point it out every single day that they're not doing it right. They're giving us the scariest of all possible numbers, 4,693 total reported cases since March. Come on, guys.
Yeah, but...
Come on, man. Let's look at that. Let's look at it against the entire population of Guam. It has been since March. I'm not a mask-wearing guy unless I absolutely have to. And my social life has not changed all that drastically. There have been adoptions and things like that. Why can't I get COVID-19? I'm more likely to get lepto from walking around in pig poop and Petey than...
Yeah, but... I mentioned this before. The Bob show. The biggest whereas that was missing from the executive order was it's a 99% survival rate.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
They don't want you to know that.
That's the biggest thing. But listen, I'm going to tell you another thing about mainstream media, and it relates to you. This has always been. You always said this is your most favorite hour of your show. If CNN came. Well, let's say Fox News reported on it, and they say, hey, Ray Gibson, he's throwing numbers out there. He's making great numbers, during this part of the show, and then he's giving you all the accolades. Fox is giving you all the accolades, and then CNN comes behind it and says, you know what? Ray Gibson just admitted that his show should only be 1 hour long because the other 3 hours are no good. Right? And then MSNBC comes in and says, breaking news, Ray Gibson doesn't like working with his sister, because that's the last hour. So you see...
Oh, yeah. I get it. There's the main... So you pick up both of the newspapers, and I would hope that, between the publishers of both of these newspapers, that they start looking around for other media that can be represented other than the ones that just hate Trump because they hate Trump. Hey, listen, I gotta let you run. I'll talk to you pretty soon. I'll see you at the polls. And we'll
right,
talk.
brother.
We'll talk results tomorrow. We'll see if in this last hour or the fun parts of the first hour make any kind of difference at all. I wish there was universal listenership. Obviously, we're never ever going to get to anything like that. And I hope that you've been as influential as you can be. I've got 90 seconds left on the air, and I'm going to go and vote literally like my life depends on it. These are people that are making decisions about what happens at Guam Memorial Hospital. It will be difficult, not impossible, but it would be difficult for me to get on a plane and go find emergency treatment someplace else. I mean, if it came to bullets, I got here and GRMC and GMH. So my life does depend on putting people in there that will be able to figure out the dollars and cents of this government so that we don't have to worry about 5 more, 10 more years of inadequate hospitalization and health care here on Guam. That part. Now, the other part of my survival is I like working here. I like being the guy on the radio. I can only do this with Real Joe and Mana and Jerry Roberts and the other radio stations and the other TV stations and the newspaper. We can only do this. We can only survive this if our business community is strong enough to survive all of this, and that's going to require representation and literally leadership coming out of the government of Guam. And today you've got an opportunity to help drive that representation. Please choose wisely. For me, for Real Joe, for my daughter, for everybody, and for the 37,000 people that are unemployed and underemployed here today. Please help decide for them what's going to be best for all of us. The radio station's KUSG have gotten you. Tomorrow morning, we will have unofficial results, and we'll yak about those for all kinds of hours and figure out who we're going to love and hate in the next 2 years. 10 o'clock, Fox News Live on The Point.
The battle for the Keystone State. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Both candidates made campaign stops today in Pennsylvania, with the former vice president hoping for a victory at his birth state.
Pennsylvania went for President Trump by less than a point 4 years ago, and this time around polling is very tight, though Biden has had the edge. Biden's been rallying in key swing states, and Monday addressed union workers in Monica, Pennsylvania, where he never said he'd ban fracking.
This is the first president I'm aware of. The 6 top generals that work for him, 6 4-star admirals and generals, they all left